You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
In a few minutes, I'll have details on a shooting that happened early this morning in the White Bridge neighborhood.
And some Tennessee lawmakers want to replace every single member of the Tennessee State Board of Trustees there. We're going to tell you about the debate that happened at the State House.
In our last great day before rain returns to Middle Tennessee, 4 days worth of it. We'll take a look at the timing and how much we'll see by the end of the weekend and track a big cool down on your forecast.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to get started with some breaking news happening right now in West Nashville. That is where Metro Police say at least one person was shot in a neighborhood not far from White Bridge Road. Let's get out to Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar, who's live on the scene. Karen, what can you tell us?
Well, police say it happened right here behind me on Richland Hills Apartments, and the call came in around 2 a.m. Now, for perspective, Richland Hill Apartments is on Modena Avenue near DeMoss Road. Now, I can't go past these cop cars because there is an active investigation going. A few minutes ago, police were speaking to neighbors, trying to figure out more details on what happened. What they did tell me is that this shooting happened because an argument started, and behind me on that front door, they say that the victim was shot by someone. If Kevin pans down, you can see that there are still items on the ground. There's also a shell casing that is hard to see at this moment. We aren't sure how old the man was or his identity, but what we do know is that he was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Police tell me that at this moment, the suspect hasn't been caught yet. As we get updates, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:02, take a look at your Code Red forecast here on a Thursday morning, and this is the last great day we're going to have before the rain that we've been talking about every single day this week finally makes its way here. Last great day with warmth and no rain. We're going to have 4 straight days with 3 weather makers that move in. The good news is that no flooding or severe weather is expected, and we really do need some rain here, so it'll be helpful rain, but it will kind of mess with your plans a little bit. So we'll be timing that out for you throughout this morning. The big things that we're watching for: mainly light rain when it starts to come down tonight into tomorrow. You could hear a clap or two of thunder. Do not worry about that. It's not going to be anything that indicates severe weather, but 1 or 2 of these showers could get a little bit of oomph going and give you a little bit of lightning. Flooding risk is still going to be very low. Your 7-day forecast has 2 big changes. One, the change in temperature. Take a look. Monday into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll go from 62 degrees today to 53 by Monday, and then 40s Tuesday into Wednesday. Nighttime temperature is going to be much cooler as well. Right now, you're waking up in the upper 30s and low 40s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a look at what we've got going on. We do have a situation. This is going to be on the west side of town. This is I-40 at I-65. We've got 2 police officers there, but if you look right below them, you'll be able to see a car, we believe, down at the bottom of the grassy area there, right at the junction. So they're going to have to wait on a tow truck to come in and get that out of there. And it's unknown exactly if they're going to have to block some lanes while they do that. So that's going to take some time. That's the only crash we've got going on right now. It happened around 3:30 this morning. So we're going to be taking a look at other areas of town coming up as soon as we get more details about any more crashes out there. Operation Crime and Justice this morning. Germantown joggers are now a little on edge. This is after police say a man attacked a 25-year-old woman who was out for a run over the weekend. Now, the Metro Police Department is looking for this man right here. You can see him on the screen. He is wanted for attempted rape after they say he grabbed a woman, threw her into a fence, and then put her in a chokehold. Now, police say a Good Samaritan stepped in and scared that man off. Brandon Epps is one of those who runs along the Cumberland River Greenway. He says he's looking at making some changes for his next jog.
I'm thinking about maybe running with my taser, running with pepper spray now, just because, Nashville's just different now.
Well, police are still looking for this suspect. They say he was last seen walking away from a homeless camp near 2nd Avenue North and Cement Plant Road. We have a poll up right now. We're asking you, do you feel safe exercising in your particular neighborhood? Most of you feel pretty good about your neighborhood, it would seem. 72% of you say yes, 27% of you say no. Around 320 of you have voted so far. If you would like to participate, you can do so by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. You can also join us over on social media on our X page at Fox Nashville. We do have continuing coverage as some state lawmakers are now leading an effort on a bill that would replace every board member for Tennessee State University and their board of trustees. This follows some accusations by the university of mismanagement by the state and chronic underfunding of the university. Now, the Senate leader, John Lumberg, in this particular case, he is leading this bill. He says right now TSU's Board of Trustees and all of its members would be eliminated by June. So Senator Lumberg introduced an amendment to the bill that would instead vacate and replace the current members of the board. Now, that proposal was passed by the Senate Operations Committee. The bill will now go on to a House Committee on Government Operations. That is where there will be another debate. But coming up, a woman hit and killed while walking in a crosswalk. We're going to tell you about the changes, or the charges rather, pending against the driver. And the mid-state police officer
assaulted by the student.
Administrators and teachers attacked by students, a growing violent trend. How this alert system works, how it may not only keep teachers safe, but students as well. Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We continue to follow the breaking news this morning from West Nashville. This is a live look here near White Bridge Road. This is where one person was shot earlier in the morning. Now, our reporters who's been talking to police tells us that this happened after an argument, and the suspect has And the suspect in this case is continuing to try and has not been named, but there has been one person that's been taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Stay with us as we gather more information throughout the morning, again, on the shooting over in West Nashville. Operation Crime and Justice, a woman was killed trying to cross the street, even though she was right in the middle of a crosswalk. Now, Metro Police say this happened when a box truck hit the woman yesterday morning on Harding Place at Limbar Drive. This is over in the south side of town, close to Antioch. Police say that the truck driver was given a citation for driving without a license, and more charges could follow. The woman's name has not been released. The Dickson County Sheriff's Office says that a deputy is on the mend after he hit a cow with his patrol car. You can see the damage that cow caused, and wow, it's a lot. Now, we are told that the car is totaled. Yeah, we can see that. The sheriff's office says that the deputy was taken to the hospital, but thankfully will recover. They also say that they respond to calls about horses and cows in the roadway at least several times a week, and they are asking anyone who has these animals to please make sure that their fences are secure and intact. Congratulations are in order for a Tennessee probation and parole officer who is answering the call. Now, we're talking about Rob Call here. The Murray County Fraternal Order of Police has just named Call as their 2023 Officer of the Year. Now, Officer Call noticed suspicious activity on his day off and then called it in and helped track down a man who had an AR-15 pistol in the area around the Walmart there in Murray County. He works at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. He is, Officer Call is a lifelong resident there of Murray County and began his career with the Department of Corrections back in 2013. Congratulations to the officer. Let's get to Greg.
Congratulations indeed. And today, taking a look at the forecast, one more good day, and then everything we've talked about all week begins to settle in. First is the rain, and then cooler temperatures. The bigger the bar, I tell you every morning if you wake up with us here, the bigger the bar, the better the rain chance. So Friday into Saturday, best chances for rain. And now Monday, I'm going to use the word snow. but not in a dangerous way when it comes to we're shutting down and we're getting all the milk and bread. No, a couple of flakes could be flying, and we'll talk about it. Taking a look here, future track, tonight into tomorrow morning, 3 a.m., very light greenish gray, not much to worry about. There will be some light rain showers going into the morning hours, and then the rain continues to be very light throughout the afternoon for your Friday. Friday evening into the overnight, we settle into a little more, not necessarily heavy, but steady rainfall for your Saturday, and that continues throughout the entire day. That will be the rainy day of the upcoming weekend. By the time we get into Sunday morning, things begin to die down, the heavier rainfall well down to our south, and will dry out. However, I did mention the word snow, and that's for Monday, and then a big cool down. That's the focus coming up in the next check of your forecast in about 6 minutes from right now.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. We continue to follow that crash over on the west side of town. This is going to be at I-40 at I-65. And yeah, the police have had to jump off and block off at least one lane while the flatbed is in place to try and retrieve that car that slid off the road down into the grassy ravine a little bit earlier this morning around 3:30. So crews are going to make quick work of this and try to get this out of the way. It is going to block one lane in the meantime. No other major holdups are in place right now. We'll continue to watch this, let you know exactly what happens, not just here, but across the rest of the city with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. A historic case opens later today at the Supreme Court as justices will consider whether or not former President Trump can stay on Colorado's ballot for president. And some are already waiting in line to get inside. 5 U.S. Marines are
Bath Home investment opportunity at 282 East Jefferson Pike in Murfreesboro. Bid live or online Saturday, February 10th at 10 a.m.
See us on the web at compassmontgomery.com.
4:15 is the time. Breaking news this morning as we continue to take that live look over in West Nashville. This is near White Bridge Road. This is where one person was shot earlier in the morning. Now, police say that the person who was shot is a man who was shot in the leg, and this was after an argument. That man was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The suspect in this case has not been caught yet. Police are on the scene, as you can see right now, going door to door. They are talking to people in that neighborhood to ask if they saw anything. We have a reporter there at the scene, Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar. She'll be back with us here in a few minutes to give us an update as we learn more about that scene, again, over in West Nashville, just off of White Bridge Road. The United States Supreme Court will hear arguments today on whether or not former President Trump is ineligible to be president for a second term. Now, spectators hoping to sit in on this case while it's being heard were waiting in line yesterday outside of the Supreme Court. The historic case focuses in on a ruling in Colorado that took Mr. Trump off of the ballot because of the 14th Amendment that disqualifies a candidate who, quote, engaged in insurrection. The court's decision could have major ramifications on the 2024 race for president.
This is a landmark decision, and I want to be in the room where it happens, to quote Hamilton.
The state of Colorado and their ruling cited Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election at the January 6th Capitol riot. The case before the Supreme Court is wading into some uncharted legal territory. The outcome could have ripple effects across the country. We'll see. Rescue efforts are underway after a missing military helicopter was found in the mountains of San Diego, or just outside of the city of San Diego. Officials haven't made an official comment on the helicopter's condition. 5 troops were on board, and their condition is not known right now. The helicopter was reported overdue from its training mission around 1 a.m. yesterday. The area is dealing with some very snowy conditions, making it very difficult to reach the site on the ground. The National Weather Service called for upwards of 10 inches of snow in some of those California mountains.
We're out in a remote area right now. We're in rugged terrain, so they have ropes, any type of first aid equipment, medical equipment that they're going to need to treat any victims that they find. They've got stuff to stay warm in cold weather, so they're fully outfitted and fully prepared.
The Super Stallion is the military's largest and heaviest helicopter. It's not clear yet exactly what went wrong. Let's talk to Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast here. And Greg, we are expecting a rainmaker to start moving its way here, coming up here, not today necessarily, but soon.
Yeah, tonight into tomorrow. So this is your last great day. It won't be as sunny, but still warm. A little breezy at times here, so the wind picks up first, then the rain picks up tomorrow. We're going to take you where we left off a few moments ago. We talked about the rain that moves in tonight into tomorrow, very light in nature, not going to be anything to worry about. And even on your Saturday, steadier, a little bit heavier, maybe a clap of thunder, no severe weather. Sunday into Monday, I mentioned the word snow about 10 minutes ago. Let's talk about it here. We have colder air moving in. So here's Monday in the morning, not much happening just yet. But during the afternoon, one more push of rain moves in during the afternoon toward the evening hours. There's a little blue to our north. Now, could we see a little blue clip the Cumberland Plateau? It's absolutely possible going Monday night into early Tuesday. Maybe a coating on a few of our surfaces, not necessarily on the paved areas, but grass, wooden surfaces, things like that. Your roof might see a little bit. Your car windshield may have a little. I'm not worried about anything sticking, though, that's going to close downtown. We're not going to the grocery store and raiding all the shelves, but there could be a little snow as you wake up Tuesday morning. And then we're cold but clear for the rest of the week. What does this mean for the 7-day forecast? This is one of those days where we're going to spend a lot of time on the 7-day forecast every half hour because there are just so many changes. Today, breezy, 62 degrees. Wind gusts could be up near 30 miles per hour. Then that light rain moves in Friday into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then the big cool down. Temperatures do not get out of the 40s Tuesday through Friday of next week.
Steer clear traffic at 420 here on your Thursday morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at the I-65 junction there. This is on the west side. That flatbed tow truck driver is certainly earning his keep. He was able to get down there and retrieve that vehicle out of that grassy median there pretty fast. Looks to be an SUV of some type. And so they're going to pull that out of there and open up all the lanes. That's the only crash we've got going on right now. Of course, we continue to keep you up to date with Steer Clear Traffic as we've got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. Well, happening today, Middle Tennessee residents hit hard by the recent tornadoes will have another location to apply for federal disaster aid. The brand new FEMA Center will be opening later today at noon. You can see it, well, this is the FEMA Center right here, but it opens at noon right up here on Gallatin Pike there as you head towards the Hendersonville area. It is located at the Nashville State Community College there on Gallatin Pike. It's in Madison, but it's going there towards Rivergate. Any resident of Cheatham, Davison, Dickson, Gibson, Montgomery, Stewart, or Sumner County who had uninsured losses from the December tornado can visit the center. The application for the deadline is coming up on Monday. Well, coming up, when the Tennessee Vols took on LSU yesterday, it was a night in the spotlight for one star player in particular. Yeah, Dalton Connect. Another big game, perhaps. We'll have the highlights in minutes. At Nashville, let's see.
June. Now I'm an attorney helping my fellow Marines and their families get the compensation they deserve. To see if you qualify, call me now at 1-800-844-1712.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. A live look over in West Nashville. This is just off of White Bridge Road at a set of apartments there. That is where one person was shot earlier in the morning. Police say that person was shot in the leg during an argument. That man was taken to the hospital. Police continue to ask neighbors about anything they saw or heard, and they continue to look for the shooter. We do have a reporter there on the scene talking with police, getting updates. We're going to have information for you coming up here in our 4:30 half hour. Well, let's talk a little sports action this morning. Tennessee basketball star Dalton Connect has made his presence known this season. He is averaging at least 20 points per game, and he put that power on display again against LSU last night. Now the Vols came out firing on all cylinders right out of the gate, and they made their first 5 shots of the game, and then, really kept things up. They led by 23 points at halftime, and then continued to make it rain in the second half of the game. Dunks, 3-pointers, the whole nine. Dalton Connect, though, will be the star of the show. You see him here with the corner three. He would finish with 27 points in the game. Vols win 88-68 over those Louisiana State University Tigers. LSU. Big moment for Nashville SC yesterday, as they are building out their squad with a homegrown player. Now, the club announced the signing of Isaiah Jones to a first-team contract. He is the second homegrown player signing in Nashville's history. The 17-year-old is from Thompson Station and has been with Nashville's SC's Youth Academy since 2020 and has climbed his way up the ranks as a midfielder. Last season, he played with the U17 squad. He played in 7 matches, including 4 starts. Congratulations to Isaiah Jones. Looking forward to seeing him over at Geodis Park.
426, and yes, we're transitioning out of all the winter doldrums and getting closer and closer to soccer and baseball, all the things spring. One more day that'll be great, and then we do actually have to go back to winter for a little bit here. We are still in February. On and off rain showers for the weekend. A few claps of thunder cannot be ruled out. The good news is that when that thunder, if you hear a little bit of it rumbling in the background here, or while you're just outside, or maybe it's a little bit calm and quiet inside your house, no severe weather. Don't worry about that. 64 degrees today, mainly cloudy. Saturday, 64 and 60 on Sunday. The rainier day of the two is definitely going to be Saturday. Light to moderate rainfall, and that chance we could see a brief thunderstorm or two cannot be ruled out. Here is the rain chance of the weekend. You're thinking it's 427. I just woke up and looking at a bunch of bars. All this means is that the morning hours of Saturday, the rainiest, the afternoon gets a little bit better, and then the morning hours of Sunday, a chance for a little bit of rain that will die down as well. Coming up on our 4:30 half hour, look at our 7-day forecast. We are not done with changes. We'll go from 64 to 46 degrees for high temperatures when that swing happens, coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here. We were following a crash at I-65 at I-40 where a car left the road, crashed into the grassy area there. Tow truck had to go get it, and they did, and now it's gone. So good news there as you travel in from the West Loop. We're going to check in near the airport coming up here in the next few minutes.
In a few minutes, I'll have details on a shooting that happened in the White Bridge neighborhood, along with reaction from a neighbor.
And the mother of a man who was killed by gun violence is now striving.
Home Furnishings. Financing is available up to 60 months with 0% interest. Visit our showroom today for an extra week of Black Friday deals.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a Tennessee pastor is charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a disabled man. We're going to tell you where that money went and the charges that the pastor is facing right now. Greg?
We have one more good day until the rain moves in. We've been talking about it all week. 4 days worth of rainfall, the full timeline coming your way in your Code Red forecast.
And steer clear traffic for you this morning at I-40 at Dallas and Pike out near the airport. We're going to tell you about anything happening on the roads. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland. It is a Thursday morning here, and we're going to begin with some breaking news out of West Nashville. That's where police say one person was shot just off of White Bridge Road at a set of apartments. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live on the scene to tell us exactly what police are doing right now.
Well, police have been out here all morning investigating, talking to neighbors to figure out more details on what happened. And because of that investigation, I can't go past these cop cars. But what I can do is show you where police say it all happened. They say that a man was shot right in front of that door here at Richland Hills apartment. And it all started because of an argument. Now, I'm here with Kevin Marshall. He lives right across the street of where that shooting happened. What's your reaction to all of this?
I think it's an awful shame that our kids have to suffer as the opposite ignorance and evil. I think that, we need to realize how grateful we should be when we have somewhere to live, a roof over our head, and also that we need to pay more attention to our livelihood and our children. What differences we have, I think it behooves us to know that there's no winning in that. And, just stop it. We got Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ, people that we need to lift our eyes up to know why we're still here, and just stop it. That's all.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, police say the suspect hasn't been caught yet, and coming up in the next half hour, we'll actually get more reaction from Kevin, and not just that. He says this isn't the first time that this has happened around here. Reporting live in the White Bridge neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, thank you so much, Karen. Well, the mother of a man killed by gun violence, this time at the Antioch Waffle House shooting that took place back in 2018, is now looking for a seat at the state legislature. And she wants to push for tougher gun control. Chantella Brooks has been advocating for victims of gun violence since losing her 23-year-old son, Akela Da Silva. He died when Travis Reinking opened fire inside of that Antioch Waffle House. 3 others also died in that particular shooting. Brooks says that she feels her son's spirit as she continues to speak out and wants to honor his legacy by running for the House seat in their particular district.
I am running for the other parents whose children didn't come back home. For our children who deserve to be safe in schools, in stores, movie theaters, parks, and restaurants.
Now, Brooks is a Democrat and is running in District 60. She was joined yesterday by Representative Gloria Johnson, as well as Justin Jones, who have been encouraging her to run. If elected, Brooks says she wants to see better background checks and stricter gun laws. Well, let's talk to Greg Bovis. He is standing by with a look at your forecast on this Thursday.
That we are, and this is that day we've been talking about where we have one last good chance to get outside before the rain moves in. So what is new this morning? The first thing you're going to notice this afternoon especially will be the wind picking up. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour, and it will be breezy the entire weekend as well. So today all the way through Sunday, wind will be a factor. It's not going to be damaging wind, but it's going to be there. This is the last dry day before the rain starts going into tomorrow. No flooding, no severe weather, all clear for code red, but definitely could be a nuisance to your plans for the weekend if you don't know the timeline. So here are the days ahead. Temperatures are okay for now. We're beginning to see in the 7-day forecast a shift in temperature. We'll go 65 degrees tomorrow, 64 degrees on Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Cool front moves in. Rain possible on Monday and maybe even a few snowflakes depending upon where you live. 53 degrees here, your temperature on your Monday. And mainly the upper elevations. You know, you guys always get it. Cumberland Plateau, you get a little more elevation, you get colder temperatures, you have the chance for a little bit of snow. We'll talk about that and look at your future track. We're going to talk about everything here when it comes to future rain and snow coming up in about 10 minutes from right now.
Steer clear traffic for you at 435. Quick look here at I-40 at Dallas and Pike as you make that drive over near the airport. I just checked the big board over there at Nashville International. We seem to be doing fine. No big problems over there so far this morning. We will let you know if anything does change. We got you covered. Steer clear traffic is live and local with you through 9 o'clock this morning. In Operation Crime and Justice, a Tennessee pastor is charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a disabled man. Now, state investigators say that Pastor David Berry runs the Praise and Worship Center at the Tax Service in Jasper. This is about a half hour west of Chattanooga. Now, investigators say he took around $2,800 in disability payments from a man who had been managing, he says he had been helping that man manage his money. So authorities are looking a little bit closer at this. Investigators also say that Berry also named himself as a conservator for the man's other money. They say that Berry used that money for personal meals, a loan for a Super Bowl party, as well as cash transfers. He is now facing several charges. Well, coming up, police are looking for a child and a father who are missing from Franklin County, Tennessee. We're going to tell you where this pair could be now and why you need to keep an eye out. And the last few llama friends left their home.
Think smart, think smart, talk smart, get smart. You are smart, smarty pants.
You gotta unleash the power.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
.39 is the time. An alert this morning as police are looking for a missing child and his father out of Franklin County, Tennessee. Now, the Winchester Police Department say that a 5-year-old named Harley Privetti is missing. Police also want to find his father. He is Anthony or AJ Privetti. They are now saying that Harley may be across state lines over in Georgia. If you have seen Harley or his father, you are asked to contact the detectives down there in Franklin County. That number is right there on your screen. Author Marianne Williamson is now suspending her campaign as a Democratic nominee for president. Now, Williamson, known as a spiritual advisor to people like Oprah Winfrey, ended her campaign to challenge Joe Biden just yesterday. Williamson picked up only 2% of the votes in the South Carolina primary and about 3% of the Nevada primary on Tuesday. Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips is now the only other major candidate who could challenge the president for the Democratic race for president. Well, take a look at this. Police officers in Colorado answered the call to round up 3 llamas out there in the snow. Some llama drama there in Colorado. Llamas were tracked down after they wandered away from home. Now, where's home exactly, I wonder? Police say the trio apparently wanted to play in some fresh snow. It is Colorado after all. Officers managed to put the animals on leashes and return them safely. Not too many places in the country you could be looking out the window and see police officers walking llamas.
That couldn't be more true. And I love the llama drama, by the way. The alliteration, perfect for that situation. Taking a look here. As far as future track goes tonight into tomorrow, everything begins when it comes down to the rain that starts. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. As you wake up with us for the last day of our work week, we're tracking rain on the radar for you. It'll be light. It'll be very hit and miss, not covering the entire area, but rain will be here for us, and that will continue into the afternoon, very light. Not a big situation for tomorrow. However, into Saturday, the greens get a little bit darker. So the evening hours of tomorrow into Saturday morning, a little more rainfall does move in, and it'll be a little more consistent and a little more widespread for Saturday afternoon and evening. Might even catch a clap of thunder or two, but no severe weather and no flooding are worries for us here. Sunday going into Monday, most of Sunday will end up being on the dry side. Our southeasternmost counties have a chance for some rain as you wake up, but then we'll dry out a little bit for the afternoon. We've got one more push of rain that moves in and brings in much colder air, and we could even be talking about the word snowflakes coming up here in about 5 minutes in the next check of your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get us started here over on the south and east side of town. This is going to be I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway coming through the Antioch area. As you can see, traffic moving along there without any issues. We'll be checking in on all sides of town, letting you know exactly where the best places are to steer clear from coming up in a few minutes. Well, coming up, the number of people with illnesses is skyrocketing this season. We're going to tell you why some health experts say loosening the pandemic safety measures could be involved with this. And Broadway is getting a brand new honky tonk. I'm going to tell you about the singer
means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
.45 is the time. A growing number of people have been abandoning the pandemic era safety measures. You know, haven't seen the mask and the social distancing, things like that. They've also been skipping out on the vaccines for both the flu and coronavirus this particular season. Now, some experts believe this could be adding to the higher number of hospitalizations. Fox News' Gary Bumgarden has the look.
'Tis the season for the sniffles, coughs, fevers, sore throats, and more. So if you're feeling under the weather, you are not alone.
Pandemic precautions, those things are dwindling, and hence we're being exposed to more respiratory viruses than we have last year.
Libby Richards of Purdue University School of Nursing says the best way to protect yourself from things like the flu and COVID-19 is to get vaccinated. But the CDC is reporting decreases in the number of Americans rolling up their sleeves for the coronavirus jab, and says roughly 10 million fewer kids and adults this year got a flu shot.
Compared to this time point last year, we are seeing a higher rate of hospitalizations from the flu and RSV.
And with so many different respiratory viruses going around,
it's likely that some people are becoming infected with different viruses back to back.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, school districts say more parents have been keeping their kids home from school if they're sick. But with many districts reporting high numbers of chronic student absences, a growing number of schools are recommending parents send their kids to class even if they have a mild sickness. Meanwhile, doctors say there's still time to get a flu shot if you haven't gotten one yet, citing how cases usually peak in March but last until May. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
4:47 is the time in your community this morning. North Nashville's John Early Museum Magnet School is celebrating Black History Month with a creative, student-driven project. Now, inside their school, the museum has opened up a publicly curated competition public type of display completely curated by students. This month, they are celebrating Black voices by highlighting all of the accomplishments of Metro Nashville's public schools and their graduates.
This whole exhibit is all about celebrating MNPS students who have gone on and done wonderful things, not only locally, nationally, and internationally. And it shows these babies that you see standing around here that if they did it, I can do it too.
The achievements of actors, authors, composers, and church leaders are bringing this exhibit to life. Looking ahead, Nashvillians will soon be able to enjoy yet another celebrity honky-tonk in downtown, but it's at the expense of a Nashville staple. The singer John Bon Jovi is opening up JBJ's. This is happening in Nashville later this spring. It will take over the space previously occupied by the old Merchants restaurant, which did business there on Lower Broadway for around 35 years. JBJ's will be the tallest bar in downtown Nashville, which is saying something because there's already a lot of several-story bars in downtown. So we'll see what this one offers when it opens up. Let's get to Greg. He's got to look at your forecast here as we're getting rolling here on this Thursday.
That we are. And, you know, we've had a great stretch of weather. We can't complain. The last 6 days couldn't have been much better than they have been. That's all changing tonight into tomorrow. We have one more day where we'll have warm temperatures. It will be a little breezy this afternoon, so the wind's not going to catch you off guard, but just know that there will be some wind on and off throughout the day. I want to fast forward you through the weekend. Friday, light rainfall. Saturday, steady, moderate rainfall. And then Sunday, mainly dry. Monday is the big game changer when it comes to temperature. This is 8 a.m. on Monday. We're going to have one more blast of some rain that moves through late morning into the afternoon. Not going to be severe weather or flooding, none of that. But rain will move in, and then colder temperatures. Look to the north. You see some blue mixing in with the green. We could even have a little light snow situation settle into the Cumberland Plateau, where there could be enough to cover up some grassy areas, some wooden surfaces, maybe even a few windshields going into Tuesday morning. This is not going to be one of those things where we have to worry about a dense snowpack or road closures or you can't get out of your house. We've been way too warm for that, but there could be a little snow that clings to a few surfaces here, a little dusting, and then we're dry for the rest of the entire week, but we're also cooler. This is what I mean. This is the big pivot day. Monday is the day that takes us from 60 on Sunday to 45 on Tuesday. We'll go from 50 degrees at night on Friday to 35 degrees at night on Monday. So a big switch in temperature once the rain exits the area.
Circular traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look, if we can, at what we've got going on here on I-65 at Trinity Lane on the north side. As you make that drive in, we're doing just fine out there. No big problems holding you up in either direction. Quick look at your drive times out there. Mount Juliet at 26 minutes, Murfreesboro 50 minutes, Franklin 27 minutes on that drive. We'll continue to watch things for you. Prices in the classroom. 10% of educators say they've been physically assaulted or attacked by a student. Now help is available in the form of a wearable alert system for teachers. This is something Nashville teacher Mark Hayes is calling a game changer. A student attacked Hayes over at Maplewood High School. Hayes says the student was suspended for 3 days. That wrist slap is what Hayes is calling it, and it forced him to temporarily leave a job that he loved.
I believe that anything along the lines of making it easier for a teacher to communicate with anyone outside of the building or inside, depending on the device, where a emergency situation could take place within just a matter of minutes, is very beneficial to any school system throughout the state.
Now, how this new alert system works and the impacts that teachers believe it will have, it's all coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. Well, coming up, these manatees weren't in trouble. They are being released back into the wild down in Florida. We're going to tell you about the video. We're going to show you that video as they swim into their brand new life. And Coca-Cola says they're releasing a new flavor of Coca-Cola.
New HVAC systems, 50% off a descaler with new tankless water heaters, or free surge protection with a new whole home generator.
Like that one too.
.455 is the time. Live look there on Lower Broadway. Traffic is light. Not even the beer trucks out delivering right now. Things are just fine. They've washed the streets, and we are set to go for your Thursday. Greg Bopus will be along to tell us when the other streets will be washed, not by Metro, but by Mother Nature. It's all coming up in a few. A Twitter-like social media site is still opening to the public, okay? Now it's called Blue Sky, and it's allowing anyone to join the platform. After a period of only allowing new users through invites from existing members, the company says its invite-only phase helped to develop some of the moderation tools that the site is going to use, as well as other features. The social network is very similar to X, formerly known as Twitter, with the possibilities of more features, but no direct messaging yet. Blue Sky is being backed by Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey. We'll see how far this one goes, as other social media sites have also tried to mimic Twitter in the very recent past. Let's talk to Greg Bopus. He's got a look at your forecast.
Here, because today is that pivot day where we go from having temperatures that are going to be 60s and no rain to 60s and rain break. Rain break. That is our forecast here Friday straight through Saturday and Sunday. And then we flip the game when it comes to temperature. Saturday itself, the rainier of the 2 days. Maybe even a quick little rumble of thunder. We're not worried about severe weather. 64 degrees your temperature. And the rain will be consistent and steady for most of us a good chunk of the day on Saturday. Keep that in mind. Sunday, trending drier. The morning hours and the very late hours of the day, our best chance for rain on Sunday. Middle of the day looking cloudy and breezy, right around 60 degrees. The forecast going into Monday, that's the game changer. Not a terribly rainy day, but there will be some rain. On the backside of that Monday night into Tuesday, there will be the chance for a few snowflakes and a big change in temperature. That's coming your way in our 5 o'clock half hour right there on your screen. Scan that QR code. Get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. You can track along with us going into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-24 at Waldron Road as you make that drive into town. As you can see, traffic's moving along. No major problems in either direction out there this morning. That is fantastic news for you as you get out and about. If anything does change, we'll be sure to let you know with Steer clear traffic as we got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. Well, check this out. A rescued and rehabilitated manatee are released back into the wild. 5 manatees were successfully returned back into the water one by one yesterday. Now, 2 of those manatees are called Clank and Tink Tink. Both were rescued as orphans and have grown leaps and bounds over the years. Well, they're manatees, so yeah.
Now, right now, there's lots of animals coming into the spring, so our hope is that they're going to meet up with new friends and learn from those animals. They'll copy their behavior, they'll learn how to find warm water, and learn where to go out of the spring to find food.
The release comes as the Florida wildlife officials are reporting that manatee numbers are now growing. The manatees released yesterday will be tracked and checked on for about a year before fully being able to be in the wild on their own. If you're a fan of Coca-Cola, listen up. They are introducing a brand new flavor. Now, they try this from time to time. Some things work, some things don't. So let's take a look. Coca-Cola Spiced is arriving as Coke is trying to compete with other of their competition out there with seltzers and other flavored drinks on the market. The company says it's a mix of a traditional Coke with raspberry and spiced flavors. Now, this is their very first permanent flavor in years. A hit store shelves coming up on February the 19th. You may remember they went with Coca-Cola Vanilla a little while ago, and they do try things from here and there, but we'll see if Coca-Cola Spice catches on. I see they got it in a can form as well there. So, you know, we'll see if it catches on or not, and if you'll be asking for Coca-Cola Spice next time you enter a restaurant. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
In a few minutes, I'll have details on a shooting that happened at the Richland Hills apartment complex in the White Bridge neighborhood, along with reaction from a neighbor.
And some Tennessee lawmakers want to replace every single member of Tennessee State University's board. We're going to talk about the ongoing debate in our state legislature.
The countdown is on. One more nice day before rain moves in. The wind picks up first, and there could be snow by next week. I've got a lot to get to coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Snow? Okay, yeah. All right. Thanks for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. There's a little curveball for you here this morning. We'll get to Greg here in just a moment. But first, we do want to get you updated on breaking news that we're following this morning. Police have confirmed that one person has been shot in the White Bridge neighborhood of Nashville early this morning.
And we're working to get some updates. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live on the scene. And Karen, you got there about an hour or so ago. So what have you learned? I know you were speaking with neighbors there too.
Yeah, that's right. And in the last few minutes, a cop car just rolled in. You can see that they're talking amongst themselves. They've been investigating all morning, talking to neighbors, trying to figure out more details on what happened. This here is a detective car. She's been inside her car taking notes as, again, they are investigating. And because of that investigation, I'm not allowed to go past these cop cars, but I want to show you where that shooting happened. It happened right here at the Richland Hills apartment on Modena Avenue near DeMoss Road. Police say that a man was shot right in front of that door on the leg, and this all started because of an argument. Now, Metro Police data shows that this shooting is not isolated. There have been 2 cases of aggravated battery in the past week alone. Kevin Marshall, he's someone who lives right in front of where that shooting happened, resonates with that and tells us a little bit more about how common these shootings are. Take a listen.
It's about the 50th time, really. But this place right here needs security, armed security, because people don't know how to act. And you know what? It doesn't matter who's seeing me because I don't care. I'm just saying it needs to stop. The kids are watching.
Now, in regard to the person who was shot, police tell me he was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to be okay. As for the shooter, they say he still hasn't been caught yet. Reporting live in the White Bridge neighborhood, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you very much. Right now, 5:02, let's kick off this Thursday morning with a few of the other top stories you'll want to know about to start your day.
Yeah, we're turning to politics because the U.S. Supreme Court will hear a 14th Amendment case today seeking to block former President Donald Trump from ballots over in Colorado. Opening arguments do start later this morning at the nation's capital.
We have a U.S. military strike that has now killed a militia commander in Baghdad. Take a look at the video from the scene from overnight. An Iraqi Shiite paramilitary group confirming that one of its commanders is dead. That group, known as Kataib Hezbollah. U.S. Central Command says that that man is responsible for Iran-backed militia attacks on our American forces in that region. Iraq's Joint Operations Command calling this attack an aggression that undermines all understanding that existed between the two allies.
And a big story this morning, the search for 5 Marines is continuing over in Southern California. We do know the helicopter they were flying in, that has been located, but rescue teams still have not gotten to that site because of falling snow and bad weather conditions.
Yeah, you can see that right there. Coming here back closer to home, we have continuing coverage this morning as some state lawmakers are spearheading a bill that would replace every member of Tennessee State University's Board of Trustees. This follows accusations of mismanagement at TSU on the part of the state and chronic underfunding by university leaders.
Senator John Lundberg says as the bill stands right now, TSU's Board of Trustees and its members, they would be eliminated in June. So Senator Lundberg introducing an amendment that would instead vacate and replace, he says, the current members of the board. That particular proposal was passed by the Senate Operations Committee. The bill will now head to the House Committee on Government Operations for debate. So this story is still ongoing, and we'll certainly have some more in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to TSU to get their take on it, so stay tuned for that. Right now, though, all right, you heard Greg.
Snow.
Use the word snow just a moment ago. What? Well, Greg, you can't tease us like that and not tell us what's going on.
Here we go. I also mentioned about 45 other words, but the only one that stuck out was snow.
That's the one that stood out.
That's the one that,
Let's be real.
You're right. That is one that stands out. So we'll talk about it here and make sure you know. It's no big deal, but the big emphasis on that is we're going to go from nearly 70 yesterday. Our high temperature was 69 degrees to the possibility of snowflakes in the plateau Monday night. That's a real big weather change in a really short amount of time. Today's the last great day with warmth and no rain. Enjoy it. It'll be breezy, though, and a little on the cloudier side today as we prepare for our next weather maker. 4 straight days with rain showers starting tonight into tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday. We're not washing out any of those days. We're not talking about flooding. We're not talking about severe weather. But the big thing is going to be Monday. Even though we're going to get rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll time it all out hour by hour, Monday is the day when we go from 53 to 45 degrees and could see a few flakes overnight. In the Cumberland Plateau. We'll track those for you as well in a few minutes.
Greg, thank you. 5:05, steer clear traffic right now. Good news, no major problems in steer clear traffic. We have a live look right now, I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. Looks like we got decent volume right now. Seems like we got several folks already making their way into Nashville to kick off the morning. We will check in again on steer clear traffic in just a few minutes.
In Operation Crime and Justice, there are Germantown joggers and folks who are just out walking, but they're on edge after police say a man attacked a 25-year-old woman out on a run. It happened over the weekend.
Yeah, we understand, according to Metro Police, that they're looking for the man you see on your screen right here. They say he is wanted for the attempted rape of a woman who police say he grabbed and then threw into a fence and put her in a chokehold. Thankfully, somebody was close by and stepped in and scared the man off. The man you see jogging here, obviously not connected to this, but just someone out enjoying, some of our trails. Police are still looking for the person responsible. He was last seen walking away from a homeless camp near 2nd Avenue North and Cement Plant Road.
Coming up, a woman hit and killed while walking in a crosswalk area. The charge is pending against the driver and why Metro needs help tracking down the woman involved.
A sale. Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. We're glad to be here for you live through 9. It's 5:09 right now, and unfortunately, we have a story this morning of a woman who has died trying to cross the street while she was walking her bicycle. And sadly, this happened even though she was in a crosswalk.
Just a tough story to share with you. Metro Police say that a truck is what we're talking about here. A truck hit a woman yesterday morning over in Harding Place. That's at Linbar Drive. Well, police gave the truck driver a citation for driving without a license, and we do understand more charges could follow for this particular case.
We go to Dickson County now this morning, where sheriff's deputy is on the mend after he hit a cow. Oof. Look at the damage to the front of his SUV. It's totaled. The deputy did go to the hospital for some injuries, but is expected to make a full recovery.
Congratulations, though, are in order for Tennessee probation and parole officer Rob Call. Congratulations for sure.
Yeah, we'll tell you why he's being honored. The Maury County Fraternal Order of Police just named Mr. Call as the 2023 Officer of the Year. And here's why. Mr. Call was on his day off, but he noticed suspicious activity, called it in, and then ended up tracking down a man who had an AR-15 pistol at an area Walmart. Now, Mr. Call works at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. He is a lifelong resident of Maury County and began his career with the Department of Corrections back in 2013.
Well, thank you, sir, for your hard work.
5:11 your time. Quick check of your forecast. So we're going to take a look at the rain situation first going into the weekend, and then we'll talk about the big cool down in about 7 minutes from right now. So we have a 1-2 story here for you. Part 1 is tonight into tomorrow morning. This is Future Track at 7 o'clock. You're going to wake up with us tomorrow morning, and I'll be finding whatever's on the radar, tracking where it's at, where it's going, getting you out the door, trying to make our Friday as easy as possible. By the afternoon, a few more light rain showers. Nothing heavy tomorrow at all. But we get into Saturday, that will change. Friday night into Saturday, next round moves in, a little more consistent, a little more widespread when it comes to our rainfall and how many hours we'll see rain, especially the afternoon into the evening. Then we'll get a little break going into Sunday. Here's Sunday going into the morning hours, fairly cloudy, not necessarily completely dry, but anything we get here, exceptionally hit and miss and very light, but the wind starts to come out of the north. This brings in cooler air for your Sunday. And then going into Monday, that's when the really cool air gets here, brings in one more chance for rain, and that's when we could see a few flakes flying on the plateau. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, like I mentioned, about 6 minutes from right now in the next check of your COVID forecast.
5:12 is the time. We do want to take a look at our Steer Clear traffic update to get you up to speed on what's happening out there. We're going to take a live look right here at I-40 at White Bridge Road, but we're also looking at I-40 at Arlington Avenue, tracking a situation with flashing lights. You can see them up there in your upper right-hand corner.
All right, so just popped up on the scene, and we'll keep an eye on this, let you know whether this is going to impact your drive in minutes in our next Steer Clear traffic.
Coming up, 5 U.S. Marines are missing over in California. Their helicopter has been tracked down, but rescuers still cannot reach it. We're going to explain why that's the case.
And a historic case opens later today as Supreme Court justices will...
Stretches and bring it home!
Injured, hire the largest injury firm in the world. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
At 5:15 Fox 17 News, we are bringing you up to speed on the breaking news happening over in White Bridge Road. This is where one person was shot early this morning around 3 o'clock. Police say the man was shot in the leg during some sort of argument.
All right, so they did take him to the hospital. He's expected to be okay, but police say they're still looking for whoever is responsible. And as you can see in our live look here from our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey, still some police in this apartment neighborhood. So if you are in White Bridge and just off White Bridge Road here and you're hearing commotion and seeing police in your neighborhood, they're trying to figure out what led up to all this and find whoever's responsible. Stay with us as we gather more information throughout the morning.
Talking about international headlines now, because Israel rejected Hamas's latest counteroffer as the war does enter its 5th month.
It would have eventually freed all of the remaining hostages. Let's get updated right now with Fox News' Mike Tobin.
I'm back first and foremost to consult directly with our partners on the joint efforts to bring all of the remaining hostages home.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken giving an update after Israel rejects Hamas ceasefire proposal. Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the 3rd day of his Middle East tour. He's been traveling in the region with the goal of securing a ceasefire agreement.
There are clearly non-starters in what it's put forward. But we also see space in what came back to pursue negotiations to see if we can get to an agreement. And that's what we intend to do.
Hamas has offered to release all the remaining hostages in exchange for a 135-day ceasefire in 3 stages. Phase 1 would be a 45-day pause where all Israeli female hostages, males under 19, the elderly and sick, would be exchanged for Palestinian women and children. During Phase 2, remaining male Israeli hostages would be exchanged for Palestinian prisoners, and Israeli forces would leave Gaza completely. Both sides would exchange remains and bodies in Phase 3. But Netanyahu rejected Hamas's ceasefire terms, saying total victory in Gaza is possible within months.
The complete victory is the only way to win. Agreeing to Hamas's demands will not bring back your family members.
How can you accept the deal? 4.5 months, try restarting a war after that. Hamas would use that time to regroup, rearm, and prepare the next onslaught against Israel.
Officials in Gaza say the death toll is nearing 28,000. Many of those casualties are women and children. In Tel Aviv, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
Mike, thank you. Rescue efforts are currently underway after a missing military helicopter was located in the mountains outside of San Diego. This was our breaking news yesterday at the end of the block.
It was, and so let's get you updated now this morning. We understand that not a lot of comment being made so far on how they found the chopper and in what condition. But we do know that 5 troops have been on board at the time, and we are still waiting on an update on those 5 military members. The helicopter reported overdue from a training mission yesterday morning. And as you can see in some of this video, there is snow in this part of California. This is not far from San Diego, Southern California, kind of a rare Southern Cal snowstorm here. The National Weather Service, in fact, had to call for upwards of 10 inches of snow in the higher elevations, which may be where they're conducting some of those searches.
5:18 is the time. Here in Middle Tennessee, we are talking about some snow as well, which is really surprising to hear when you think about yesterday, 60s, sunshine.
But I feel like we should couch this by saying, kids, you're going to school.
Oh, for sure.
We are not making grocery runs for this.
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless it's your typical grocery list.
Yeah.
Don't go clearing the shelves.
We're talking no worry flurries.
No worry flurries.
Okay.
But that snow back in California, I actually pulled a map up for us here.
Yeah.
For perspective. So we're going to show where San Diego is and show the small little spot where this helicopter is at. Roughly, radar indicated at least 8 to 9 inches of snow. High elevation, hard to get to. That's why this is still an ongoing situation out there. But just to give you context, about 35 miles away from San Diego. Back home, we are not going to see anything close to that, maybe a dusting on a few spots. So when we talk about any snow from Middle Tennessee on Monday, going into Tuesday morning, There you go. I literally have meh on there. Not a big worry. Do not worry about it. But if you wake up and you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you're waking up, you're seeing your grass, you're seeing maybe you have a wood deck, maybe you have your car parked outside, windshield could have a little light snow on it. You'll go with the sweeper one time and you're going to be good to go. Nothing to really worry about. A few slick spots though, but that's pretty much it. It's not going to be, like we mentioned, something to close downtown for the entire day. Just wake up, it'll be gone by the afternoon. Taking a look here at the car wash. Well, you missed your window. If you haven't done it the last 2 weeks and I've been saying get out there and go, I would just wait till next week. Because today, I've got the yellow light. I mean, yes, you could do it, but going into Friday and Saturday, we have this happening for us here. We have the rain that moves in. 64 degrees for your Saturday, 60 on Sunday. The rain timing is everything that we will be getting to here coming up in about 5 minutes. But here's the big picture. 62 degrees today, 65 tomorrow, and we'll keep the middle 60s on Saturday. The temperature switch goes Monday into Tuesday. We'll go from 60 degrees on Sunday to 45 on Tuesday. Those nighttime temperatures on Monday in the lower to middle 30s give us that chance for a few flakes in the higher elevations.
Still clear traffic out there this morning. We are picking up a crash at I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. As you make that drive into town there from the east side, you can see Metro Police have got a car pulled over there on the shoulder of the road. Unsure exactly how many cars may be involved with this crash, but it is going to slow you up as you make that drive over from the east side, over from Donaldson and Hermitage and places like that. So heads up as you make that drive in. You can always take Lebanon Pike, Elm Hill Pike itself, as the best way to steer clear, because in the dark, it can be tough to see and get over and avoid any of the activity happening here on the shoulder of the road. Other than that, we are good to go. This is 65 Trinity Lane here on the north side, but that drive on the east is going to impact your drive into town. I'm going to tell you how much the slowdown could be coming up here in a few minutes.
Justin, thank you very much. The Supreme Court set to hear arguments today on whether former President Trump is ineligible to be president for a second term.
Spectators hoping to sit in on this case while it's being heard waited in line yesterday right outside of the Supreme Court. Showing you some video of that. The historic case focuses on a ruling in Colorado that took Trump off the ballot, citing an excerpt from the 14th Amendment. Well, that disqualifies candidates who, quote, engaged in insurrection. We've talked about this. The court's decision could have a major ramification on the 2024 race for president.
This is a landmark decision, and I want to be in the room where it happens, to quote Hamilton.
All right, the Colorado ruling citing Mr. Trump's efforts to reportedly overturn the 2020 election and the subsequent January 6th riot. This case before the Supreme Court is wading into uncharted legal territory. We'll be following it as we get updates live through 9.
5:22 is the time.
Into your morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, gravy, or country fried steak. Any two, just $5. Enjoy heart-shaped biscuits now through Valentine's Day.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 5:24 is the time, and we are following some breaking news updates right now from a shooting scene in the White Bridge part of town.
Yes, this is where one person was shot. It happened early this morning, and you can see the scene is very active right now. Police are on the scene, letting us know that a man was shot in the leg during some sort of argument. That man was then taken to the hospital, is expected to be okay, but the person responsible, based on our understanding, still not been caught.
Yeah, so we're working to see what's going on here. We can see several police officers talking to a man near the breezeway here, but our reporter Karen Aguilar is there. She's going to gather some more information, and we'll join her again for a live update in about 5 minutes.
Well, there are 40 members of the Metro Council, and about half of them are new. It's designed that way on purpose. The vice mayor is also new. And there's normally a way that meetings are conducted. Each person is called on one by the vice mayor before speaking. Well, not everyone was following those rules towards the ends of Tuesday night's meeting, and it led to moments like the one you're about to see. Now, if you're not watching your screen, you're missing part of the story, because the looks and the body language here speaks a lot.
Has my time been taken back because I lost some minutes because of that point of order that was uncalled for?
Ms. Ellis.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that Councilmember Gamble gets her 3 seconds back. There was a clock on the time when she was given her to speak.
Ms. Ellis, I will add 3 seconds to the end. Once it beeps, if she still needs to speak, I'll give her 3 seconds, okay?
Should I respond to her or to you?
You speak to me, ma'am, during the meeting, okay? You address me, the chair.
Thank you. So when Ms. Sepulveda called her point of order, there was a 3-second rundown on the clock.
Ms. Ellis, a point of order is a prevailing inquiry, okay?
Okay.
We will keep up with it. No one's going to cut Ms. Gamble off at the end of her thing and say, whoops, sorry, you don't get the 3 seconds. It's going to be okay.
Well, Metro Council had been in the meeting at that point for around 4.5 hours. We've got plenty more on this coming up in a few minutes.
5:27, your forecast changes to rain starting tomorrow and then cold next week. Cold compared to where we're at. In the general scheme of things, not dangerously cold, just back to the 40s for high temperatures. We've been used to 60s and we've been spoiled. Here comes the incoming weather maker system. I call it that because there are multiple rounds of rain, not just one of them like we typically get. Friday, light rainfall. Saturday, a little more on the moderate side and a little more widespread. Sunday, relatively dry, but very early in the day and late in the day we have a chance for rain, so we're kind of bookending. your Sunday from start to finish. And then Monday, that's when the cool slide takes us into Tuesday. Keep that in mind. Much cooler temperatures are going to take us into the upcoming week. That'll be our focus coming up here in the 5:30 half hour. In the first check of your forecast, I'll tell you two different things. We'll talk about how much cooler will be, how long it will last. That's part one. And we'll also start tracking that incoming rain for your weekend.
Still clear traffic for you. Let's get out to I-40 near Elm Hill Pike. That's where we're dealing with a slowdown here because of a crash, and it's gotten the traffic pushed over to the remaining lanes here. So it is going to cause a bit of a slowdown there from that east side. You want to take Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike is the best ways to steer clear. Well, coming up, the mother of a man killed by gun violence in Nashville is now looking for
weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, we have a Tennessee pastor charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a man with disabilities, where the money went, and the charges that pastor now faces.
One more dry day, but a little windy for your Thursday. We're tracking rain for Friday all the way into Monday, and that puts us right back into a winter mode next week. That's coming up in your forecast.
Still clear traffic takes us to I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Things moving along fine there. We already had an earlier crash that is now gone. We'll take you there coming up in a few.
We do want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Fox 17 News Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have an update right now to the breaking news story we're following just off White Bridge Road in Nashville after somebody is shot in the leg. Let's send it out to Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar giving us this update. Good morning.
Right, well, it happened all right here behind me on Richland Hills apartment, and you can see that there's a man right behind me who police is talking to. He was actually right in front of that door that we just saw Kevin pan over, where the police say that shooting happened. And so you can see that he's pretty upset. This man we saw moments ago coming out of the police car. He wasn't arrested, but we also noticed that he had a hospital gown and bandages wrapped around his leg. Now, as a reminder, police tell me that the person that was shot in the leg. So this may or may not be the man who was the person that was shot in this situation. Now, police are still trying to determine who the shooter was along with what exactly happened. You can see that the man is still pretty riled up. He has been talking very loudly all morning. He's been saying that it wasn't me. I haven't been involved in this. Please just let me get my stuff. And another woman actually came to talk to him. She said that she was there to pick up her shirt, that she heard a gunshot, and that she was aware that a fight did happen. And now that I mentioned the fight, police tell me that this shooting all started because of an argument. Now, you guys already know that the person who was shot is expected to be okay. And again, we don't know if the man that you just saw is that person. Now, we will have more details for you as we get them. Reporting live at Richland Hills Apartment, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Sending it back to you.
Oh, Karen, wow. Okay, what an update there. Thank you very much. 5:33 now. In Operation Crime and Justice, a Tennessee pastor is charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a man with disabilities.
State investigators say Pastor David Berry runs the Praise and Worship Center and Tax Service over in Jasper. Now, that's about a half hour west of Chattanooga. Investigators say that he took about $2,800 in disability payments from a man whose money he had been managing. Not good. Take a look at your screen. They say Berry used the money for personal meals, a loan for a Super Bowl party, and cash transfers.
All right. He does face several charges this morning. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Right now, though, 5:34 is the time. It is Thursday. I think our streak of really beautiful weather is about to come to an end, but don't worry. Greg's here to make sure you are in the know.
All good things must come to an end. Doesn't mean we're not going to get another stretch like this, but we're going to transition back to typical February weather next week. And it starts with this. What we're watching and have been watching all week is the incoming rain that arrives tomorrow. Today starts to get windy and cloudy. That's kind of moving everything toward our direction. Mainly light rain, though, for Friday through Sunday. Some thunder can't be ruled out on Saturday, but we're not worried about severe weather. There's a low at best chance for any standing water because this comes in little rounds worth of rain over the course of multiple days. Last great day for now. Find ways to take advantage of it. It will not be as sunny, but it will still be in the middle 60s, well above average by about 15 degrees. The average high should be 51. We're going to be at 65 later on today and tomorrow as well. 64 degrees for your Saturday and then 60 degrees on Sunday. The big drop-off begins on Monday. That'll be our last push for some rain. And Monday night into Tuesday, Cumberland Plateau, we cannot rule out the possibility of some wintry mix that moves in, even a little bit of light snow. It's not going to close down town. It's not going to close down schools. We're not going and raiding the grocery store shelves. But a little light snowfall Monday to Tuesday puts us back into a colder pattern by the middle of next week.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. We were just dealing with a crash here at I-40 at Elm Hill Pike over on the west side, or excuse me, east side of town. Thankfully, that has moved out of the way, so no longer an issue there. No more big delays happening there on the east side. Traffic is up there and moving nicely now. Here's over on the west side. This is going to be I-40 at Charlotte. Things moving along just fine over here. I was on pothole patrol myself earlier this morning looking for some known spots where I knew there were potholes. Crews have been busy because I did not find them in several locations where they had been in previous days. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
Justin, thank you. The mother of a man killed in Antioch during the Waffle House shooting back in 2018, is now looking for a seat at the state legislature.
Yeah, she says she wants to push for tougher gun control, and so that is why she's doing this. Shondell Brooks has been advocating for victims of gun violence ever since she lost her 23-year-old son, Aquila Da Silva. He died when Travis Reinking opened fire in that Antioch Waffle House. 3 others also died that day. Brooks says she feels her son's spirit as she continues speaking out and wants to honor his legacy by running for a seat in the State House of Representatives.
I am running for the other parents whose children didn't come back home. For our children who deserve to be safe in schools, in stores, movie theaters, parks, and restaurants.
Brooks is a Democrat and running in District 60. She was joined yesterday, and we're showing you some video from this, by Representatives Gloria Johnson and Justin Jones, who have been encouraging her to go ahead and run. If elected, Brooks says she wants to see better background checks and stricter gun laws.
At 5:37 right now, here's a story that you don't see very often. Why is a police officer walking a llama in the snow? Well, we wondered the same thing. We're going to tell you why right after this.
Llama drama. Hey, also, we're taking a live look at 5:37 here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. Stay safe.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
We are following breaking news this morning, taking a live look in the bottom right-hand corner there from White Bridge Road. This is where one person was shot early this morning. And listen, our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar getting some answers out there.
Yeah, so we can see police are moving around in front of this apartment complex. This is just off White Bridge Road. Police just a few minutes ago were talking to a man who was very upset right in front of this building. And it does look like police might be getting in position to wrap this thing up. Karen is working to do the same thing. She'll get one last check for us, see if we can come to any kind of conclusions after all this drama here this morning. And we understand the person shot is okay.
Yeah.
But they're still trying to figure out who is responsible.
Absolutely. So we'll get some more updates throughout this morning. We're also taking a look at this very unique video, okay? Yeah, that's a llama. Police officers in Colorado answering the call to round up 3 llamas who were in the snow this week. They're stuck.
Erica and I are familiar with the Llama Llama book series, having kids.
Llama Llama Red Pajama.
Yeah, Llama Llama Snowy Drama. That could be the title of this book. Police say that these 3 little llamas just wanted to get out and play. Could you blame them? Officers managed to, as you can see right here, get them on leashes and walk them home.
So I'm just imagining them getting the call. Hey, we have some llamas in the snow. Could you get over here?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you handle this?
But just it goes to show too, right? Our law enforcement, they never know what they're gonna
never know.
Come across any day.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about some snow here in Middle Tennessee. No worry flurries.
No worry flurries for sure. Nothing like that. Why did the llama cross the road?
Why?
We don't know.
It was the chicken's days off.
Okay.
Someone had to.
Okay.
Next weather maker. Hey, they're not all going to be winners. I'm sorry. They're just not. Taking a look here. We have some rain moving in tonight into tomorrow. This is 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Light rainfall. This has been very consistent as far as the image all week long of what's going to happen tomorrow morning. Light rainfall during that morning drive time, during the kids going to the bus stop. Keep that in mind. Afternoon, a couple of light showers will continue. This is the lightest rainfall we're going to see out of this weather maker because the evening of tomorrow, here's 7 p.m., still some green on the radar. Tracks us into your Saturday. Saturday, the rainier day of the weekend for sure. Steady and persistent rainfall. Light to moderate, maybe a boom of some thunder here, especially down toward the south, but no severe weather and no flooding. Most of your Sunday, as we get through Saturday night, here is Sunday, 11 o'clock. Cloud cover, yes. Breezy, yes. Right near 60 degrees, but not bad. But Monday is when everything begins to change. Monday, 8 a.m. through the afternoon, rain moves in. Then colder air moves in. We're seeing a good 25-degree change in temperature in about 48 hours. We'll talk about that coming up in 7 minutes in the next check of your code red forecast.
Clear traffic takes us to I-40 at 46th Avenue on the west side. Everything over there looking good out there so far this morning. No big problems in either direction. Of course, that is always subject to change. We're always watching it here for you. A little bit of traffic building up here on I-40 at 24 as they come together there on that east side. We're going to have fresh drive times coming up here for you in minutes.
Justin, thank you. Also coming up, many young people reportedly think it's okay to drive under the influence of marijuana. We're going to explain what one state is doing to counteract this.
I guess you could say he's halfway there.
I see.
Broadway getting a new honky tonk. The singer behind.
Rest knowing you're paying the lowest price in town for your repairs.
Your words soothe like the summer breeze.
Visit budgetbreaks.com for locations and coupons.
At 5:47, we are checking right back in on the breaking news situation happening over in the West Nashville area. This is near White Bridge Road. It's where one person was shot early this morning. Our Fox 17 News reporter and photographer out there giving you another live look, and you can see officers still on the scene walking around. They tell us someone was shot during an argument, shot in the leg. The man was taken to the hospital, but we do believe that he's expected to be okay. And we're working to get some updates.
We are. So Karen Aguilar is out there. She's our live reporter on the scene. She's had a chance to talk to a lot of people. If you were with us just a few minutes ago, you saw where somebody showed up in a hospital gown with their leg wrapped up, very upset.
Yes.
Screaming at police officers, a whole commotion. We're working to find out whether
that the victim?
Yeah, whether that man is connected to this at all. So we'll bring you those breaking news updates just as soon as they come in.
We're also talking about this story that's trending over on Fox17.com. Nashvillians will soon be able to enjoy another celebrity honky-tonk downtown, but at the expense, unfortunately, of a Nashville staple.
Yeah, so kind of a bittersweet moment here for those of you who know Merchants downtown. Well, it's going away. And singer Jon Bon Jovi is putting his name on what will be JBJ's.
Oh, okay.
In Nashville. That's supposed to open later this spring, and it will, as I mentioned, take over the space where we had Merchants restaurant. Merchants was a downtown staple for 35 years. You may or may not have recalled there was a fire at Merchants. Was that about a year ago?
Yeah.
And it would appear they were just never able to really fully recover after that.
Well, one interesting fact about what's going in its place now is that JBJ's will be the tallest downtown bar. But I asked earlier, is it going to be considered a honky-tonk? Because I don't consider his music.
Because it's rock and roll.
Right. What do you think?
Do we need to come up with a new catchphrase for a Nashville bar that's not country music?
A rockin' tonk?
That could be
a rockin' tonk?
I don't know. Listen.
I mean, I kind of like it.
That's the best I have this morning.
I don't hate it. A rockin' tonk.
Rockin' tonk.
Rockin' tonk.
That makes me
Call
think
me
of
Bon Jovi.
That makes me think of Tonka trucks.
Honk and roll? I don't know.
Honk and roll?
Honk and roll. There you go. And that works for the bachelorettes who are down there.
Yeah, it does.
Honk and roll.
Yeah, it does.
We got you.
Taking a look here,
Put us on your PR teams, guys. We've got you.
You steal that, I'm coming for you. I'm telling you that right now. Taking a look here at the forecast. What's new this morning is the breeze that'll settle in, some clouds that are picking up, and then a rainy scenario begins to build tomorrow throughout the weekend. The wind today, gusts right around 30 miles per hour, so you'll notice it, especially in some of the outlying areas. So if you're, surrounded by buildings and whatnot, it won't be as breezy as if you are a little away from town. Last dry day before the rain does start going into tomorrow. Tomorrow's rainfall, very light. It'll start in the morning and it will be on and off throughout the afternoon. No flooding, no severe weather at all throughout the entire time frame of today through Monday. So we're all clear when it comes to code red. We're not worried about any significant weather, but annoying but well-needed rainfall for us here. We're still in a drought. The newest drought monitor, we show you this every week on a Thursday morning right around 8 a.m. It keeps track of how much rain we need to catch up, and we still need some rain to catch up. So we'll look at rainfall totals, that drought monitor from this week and last week, and we'll compare the two throughout the morning and get your 7-day forecast coming your way in a few moments.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get to I-24 Shelby Avenue. As you make that drive out and about, this one's downtown Nashville this morning as you get into town. Keep in mind, this area is going to be very busy coming up here in a few weeks. Now, there's no accident out there right now, but coming up on February 29th, they're going to break ground on that brand new $2.2 billion stadium, which means this ramp and the other ramps in this area are going to be used for 18-wheeler after 18-wheeler, after dump truck, after cement truck, after everything that it would take to build a $2.2 billion stadium over the next few years. Just know that anytime you're going through downtown, through Nissan Stadium from February 29th until, say, around spring of 27.
It's about to get busy. Justin, thank you. Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning, the story of the manatees that you see right here on your screen. They are being released back into the wild right now, and we'll talk about the new life they'll be experiencing.
And Coca-Cola says they're releasing yet another.
For a company vehicle, you need to know this. They are not waiting to investigate. Don't let them tell your story. I can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
Good morning and happy Thursday. It's February 8th. We've got a live look into downtown Nashville for you right now. Sun's not up just yet, but we are expecting today to be the day weather-wise where we start to see less of the sun and the rain does move in. So we'll be tracking it for you and let you know how it could impact your Friday plans in just a few minutes.
We're also talking about social media because a Twitter-like social media site is now opening up to the public. It's called Blue Sky, okay, and they're now allowing anyone to go ahead and join their platform after a period of only allowing new users through invites from existing members. That no longer the case, though. The company says its invite-only phase helped to develop moderation tools as well as some other features. The social network, you can think it's similar to X, formerly known as Twitter, with the possibility of more features, though, but no direct messaging right now. Blue Sky, though, is backed by Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey.
I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I just think more social media sites is the last thing we need.
Social media saturation. Too much.
Anybody feel the same way?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I came home yesterday. I literally walked in the door yesterday, and my dog is on the ground, and she's sitting by her food bowls, and my fiance has like lights and tripods set up. Apparently, my dog's taking off on TikTok, and I have no idea.
Oh, wow, nice plug.
So my dog has more TikTok influence than I do. I don't even have the app. So here we are.
But your dog can't do the weather.
What are you doing?
So.
She's like, shh, I'm creating content.
She's a dog mom now.
I'm just saying. Taking a look here. Weekend outlook, on and off rain showers for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's the rainier day. Maybe a clap or two of some thunder. No severe weather is going to be in the cards for us. Don't worry about any of that. Taking a look going forward, though, our temperatures will drop going into next week. If you want to time out the rain for yourself, or maybe just see where it's at, if you have plans this weekend, you're on the go, clouds are looking a little gloomy, the wind picks up a little bit, scan the QR code, get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, because that will have the real-time radar where you're at. And even say you go on vacation somewhere and you want to know what the radar is at locally, wherever you are, it will give you that local radar station that we get right here to the TV station across the country. You can also get our hour-by-hour breakdown of temperatures and the 7-day forecast right at your fingertips.
Steer clear traffic. Want to just tell you about a disabled vehicle happening quickly here at I-65 and I-24 on the north side. As you can see, sitting over there in the zebra stripes, not causing big delays. We're going to tell you about other things that pop up with steer clear traffic live and local through 9.
All right, here's a story to check out. New this morning, we understand that wildlife rescuers have now rehabilitated some manatees that are being released back into the wild. This is down in Florida, where I know a lot of you like to spend your time vacationing.
Yeah, 5 manatees were successfully returned back into the water one by one. This happened yesterday. 2 of those manatees are named, get this, Clank and Tink Tink.
Both rescued as orphans, poor little things, and have grown leaps and bounds over the years.
Now, right now, there's lots of animals coming into the spring, so our hope is that they're going to meet up with new friends and learn from those animals. They'll copy their behavior, they'll learn how to find warm water, and learn where to go out of the spring to find food.
Jen, do you know what in Florida they call manatees?
Oh, I've heard this before.
Sea cows.
Sea cows.
Yeah.
I was thinking calf for some reason. Yes.
Well, this release does come as Florida wildlife officials report manatee numbers are growing. The manatees released yesterday, they're going to be tracked and then checked out year after year before ultimately being fully released on their own in the wild.
And pretty common down there.
Yes.
To see, especially in some of the inner waterways, right?
Oh yeah, I've done lots of stories on manatees.
Yeah.
They're super cute. Just don't mess with them. That's a federal offense.
Okay. Hands off. Hey, 5:58 right now, and right before we get to the Super Bowl, this is not coincidental, I'm sure. Coca-Cola announces they're introducing a new flavor.
All right, interesting. The new Coca-Cola Spiced, arriving as Coke competes with seltzer and those other flavored drinks that are all over the market. The company says it's a mix of a traditional Coke with raspberry and spiced flavors.
Okay, so this is not related to Coke, but speaking of those flavors, have you ever looked at the ingredients of Dr. Pepper?
No.
So Dr. Pepper is said to use prunes and tomato extracts in their drink. So if you ever wonder what in the world is what in the world is that flavor, and you've ever looked up the ingredients, you would learn there are like 23 different fruit and vegetable extracts.
Interesting. I'm always learning something
in that drink. Yeah. Okay, by the way, if you're interested in that new Coke, it comes out February 19th.
Let's talk about butterflies, though. Monarch butterflies, native to North and South America, well, they appear to be taking a hit to their numbers lately. That's what research shows.
Yeah, this is something that we've kind of been monitoring for the last couple of years. Let's take a closer look now at what the new reports show. In Mexico, for example, the number of monarch butterflies wintering there, yes, they winter in Mexico, dropped by about 60% this year. That's the second lowest level since they kept records. Experts say the decrease in monarch butterflies caused by heat, drought, and a lot of them just losing their habitats. Now, typically the monarchs migrate from Canada and the U.S. down to Mexico and then back again.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up in a few minutes, I have details on a shooting that happened early this morning at Richland Hills Apartments.
Tennessee lawmakers want to replace every member of Tennessee State University's board. We're going to talk about the ongoing debate in this legislature. Greg.
60s once again, but rain finally does get here tomorrow. We've talked about it all week. We're locking down the timeline and how much we'll see coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side, dealing with a disabled vehicle there coming down from places like Madison and Hendersonville. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear.
6 o'clock on the dot. Thanks for starting your Thursday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started this Thursday morning with an update on our breaking news situation over on White Ridge Road.
Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar has been out there for the last couple of hours gathering information. Karen, it got real interesting there for a little bit. A guy was very upset in that neighborhood. Tell us what you've been able to learn in the last 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, as you can see behind me, there's no one here, but there were several cop cars here, including a detective, and that man that you just mentioned. He may or may not be the person who was shot. We witnessed him getting out of the cop car because they put him in there with a hospital gown and a bandage on his leg. Now, police tell me that the person that was shot in his leg, so you can only make an assumption. That's exactly what an officer in one of those cars told me. Now, I just want to reiterate that that was not the person that shot him, but the person who might have been shot. Now, the shooting all took place right here behind me in front of Richland Hill's apartment. Police say that the man that was shot in the leg was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to be okay. We also saw that there was some items here on the floor, and the man that we saw earlier in a hospital gown came here to pick them up. Now, as for the shooter, we have no idea where he's located or who he might be. But I did speak with Kevin Marshall. He lives right in front of where the shooting happened, and he tells me that this isn't the first time that they've seen a shooting around here. Take a listen.
Same stuff is going on out here right now. Yeah, because the kids are suffering behind ignorance. That needs to stop. Just because you got a rifle and you don't have a high school education, that means you need to learn some more things behind people dying.
He even told me a personal story that his nephew got shot and killed right here around this apartment complex. Now, again, just for viewers at home, I want to reiterate that police are still looking for that suspect. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thanks for that update. We have continuing coverage now as some state lawmakers in Tennessee are spearheading a bill that would replace every single member of the Tennessee State University Board of Trustees. Now, this all comes after accusations over the last couple of years of mismanagement on the part of the state making those accusations. And also they've claimed that there is chronic underfunding on the part of university leaders.
So now we're digging into this story. We know that Senator John Lundberg says as the bill stands right now, TSU's Board of Trustees and its members would be eliminated in June. Also, Senator Lundberg introducing an amendment that would instead, quoting here, vacate and replace the current members of the board. Well, that particular proposal was passed by the Senate Operations Committee. We also understand the bill will now head to the House Committee on Government Operations for debate. A lot of words, but what you need to know is that this story is very much ongoing.
Well, yeah, and one more angle to this story that is worth mentioning too, the Tennessee State University leaders are in the middle of a huge back and forth with the state of Tennessee over money that they say they are owed.
Very true.
From the state. So, yeah.
And you have lots of changes with Dr. Glenda Glover retiring.
That's right. To be continued. We'll stay on top of it for you live and local through 9 a.m.
6:04, the big three things to know as you're waking up here on this Thursday, getting toward the weekend, as we've been talking about it all week, but maybe you're just checking in for the first time, trying to plan your weekend. We have rain coming our way. This is the last day we're going to stay in the 60s and have no rain. We're going to have a little bit of a breeze, though, that does develop throughout the morning into the afternoon. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour throughout the day, and fairly cloudy compared to earlier in the week. The 4 straight days of rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. No flooding or severe weather expected when this moves in. We're above average the last great day, at least for now. Next week does turn dry going Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, but we also get considerably colder during that time span. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, you'll see exactly what I mean. 62 degrees later on this afternoon, 65 tomorrow, 64 on Saturday, and then the temperatures start to slowly slide down into the 40s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Not nighttime lows, afternoon highs in the 40s most of next week.
Clear traffic for you takes us to the north side of town, 65 at I-24, disabled vehicle there in the zebra stripes as you get by this morning. No big problems as far as slowing things up. We had 2 earlier accidents, one on the West Loop that got out of there real fast. The other one over on the east side of town near Elm Hill Pike. That too cleared out very quickly, so we're doing okay so far. Here are your drive times, fresh out the oven, 26 minutes in from Hendersonville, 57 in from Murfreesboro, 27 minutes in from Franklin.
In Operation Crime and Justice at 6:05, Germantown joggers and walkers, folks in the community just trying to get outside, really on edge after police say a man attacked a 25-year-old woman. It was out as she was on a run. It happened over the weekend.
I mean, you even think about moms who were taking the babies out, for a stroll or people walking their dogs. The Metro Police Department right now looking for this man who was wanted for attempted rape. Police say he grabbed that woman, threw her into a fence, and then put her in a chokehold. And that has just sent concern throughout this entire community. Police say, thankfully, in that case, a Good Samaritan stepped in and scared off the man. Brandon Epps, who runs on the Cumberland River Greenway often, says that he even is making some changes going forward.
I'm thinking about maybe running with my taser, running with pepper spray now, just because, Nashville's just different now.
Yeah, police are still trying to track down the person responsible. They do say he was last seen walking away from a homeless camp near 2nd Avenue North and Cement Plant Road. If you have any information, maybe you recognize that person, go ahead and head to our website to get some information about how you can report that.
We have a poll right now over at twitter.com asking the question, do you feel safe exercising in your neighborhood? Now, the good news here, most of you do. 72% say yes, you feel safe doing that. But if you go to twitter.com, search up Fox Nashville, you can vote in the poll to tell us what you think, and then you can also leave us a comment. Another way you can get to this question is by scanning the QR code right there on your screen.
After the break here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, one issue had Metro Council members shouting at each other.
Break starting at just $100. Alignment starting at $59.99.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
6:10 is the time. There are 40 members of the Metro Council. About half of them are new. Now, there are term limits on the Metro Council, so it's kind of designed that way that half of the members are new. The vice mayor is also new, Angie Henderson, taking over the gavel this year for Metro Council. So what happens when former equals, colleagues who served on Metro Council together for years are now in a position where one is in a slightly higher position than the other? Well, watch here as Angie Henderson is talking with Jennifer Gamble. This is all over a bill about housing and zoning.
This bill puts the cart before the horse. Also, Bill 2024-185 is a nuclear approach to an issue that requires comprehensive and strategic planning. The bill was not developed in consultation with the Planning Department or the Affordable Housing Task Force, nor was there any consideration for how the zoning reform will impact.
Keep it to the deferral, please, ma'am.
This is why I'm against the deferral. Will impact
This sounds like
Black
why
and
you're
brown
against, Ms.
communities
Gamble,
across the county.
It sounds like why you're against the bill, ma'am. So
No,
we're
I'm
speaking
against
on-
the deferral for April
Okay.
2nd, if I
Okay.
could continue.
So, rather testy exchange happening there, and that was not the only moment where some testy exchange did happen. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to get to what a point of order actually is in a meeting. Let's talk to Greg Bovish right now. He's got the point of your forecast.
That we do. 6:11 is your time, and today going to be a little breezy here. This is going to help bring in all of the rain that we start to see tomorrow. Wind speed on average around 10 to 15 miles per hour later on this afternoon. Wind gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. That means that one little push of air you occasionally get throughout the hour-by-hour forecast could be up to that strong when it comes to wind speed. No wind advisories or anything like that out there. Just breezier than we've been accustomed to so far this week. Warm week so far, and it continues. The average high temperature is 51 degrees. We'll be in the 60s today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Then everything changes. We take our temperatures into the 40s next week. We'll time out the rain on Future Track and take a look at how long a stretch of 40s could last coming up in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look over on the south and east side. This is going to be I-24 Waldron Road, making that drive in from Rutherford County. A bit of a slowdown developing here. We could potentially have a crash, just haven't been able to find it as of yet. But if you're making that drive in from Smyrna and Laverne, once you pass Waldron Road headed towards Old Hickory Boulevard, that's where you're going to find this slowdown here. So heads up in that area. Overall drive times look like this, and every single one of these times is going to rise before the day is over. Clarksville, 64 minutes. Murfreesboro, 59 minutes. Franklin, 27 minutes down from the south side. Well, coming up, a historic case opens today at the United States Supreme Court, and seating is limited. This is all about whether or not former President Donald Trump can stay on Colorado's ballot for president. There are some people already waiting in line. And 5 U.S. Marines are missing in California.
Furniture and more.
Plus free next day delivery.
It's the B.F. Myers Furniture President's Day sale.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southeast Financial Credit Union.
6:15, we have breaking news this morning, letting you know about Iceland that is experiencing its third volcanic eruption in 2 months. We talked about the first one, but now we're showing you some updated video. The Icelandic Meteorological Office reporting the eruption started this morning, and there is no immediate threat, though. That's some good news to the nearby town of Greenbrier. People living in the town evacuated back in December before that first eruption that I mentioned. Iceland usually experiences an eruption every 4 to 5 years, so nothing new for folks living in this area. But wow, that video is just wild to see.
It sure is. Hey, a big story that's going to be developing as we go through today. The Supreme Court will hear arguments today as to whether former President Trump is eligible to be president for a second term. This all centers around Colorado. Spectators already trying to get out there and get in line to bear witness to this case while it's being heard. You can see video of them waiting in line just yesterday outside of the Supreme Court. As I mentioned, the historic case focuses on a ruling in Colorado that took Mr. Trump off of their ballot in that state. They cited a portion of the 14th Amendment that would disqualify a candidate who engaged in insurrection. Law experts have all weighed in saying very similar things, one of them being, what is the definition of that phrase? The court's decision could have major ramifications, of course, in the 2024 race.
This is a landmark decision, and I want to be in the room where it happens, to quote Hamilton.
The Colorado ruling cited Mr. Trump's reported efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the January 6th Capitol riot. The case before the Supreme Court waiting into uncharted legal territory, and we will see as it proceeds today how things are going to unfold.
We are keeping a very close eye on the rescue efforts that are underway after a missing military helicopter was located in the mountains right outside of San Diego, but they're having some issues really getting in there. We're going to tell you why. Now, they have not commented on the chopper's condition. We do understand 5 troops are on board and their condition is not known. The helicopter was reported overdue from a training exercise around 1 a.m. This was yesterday.
All right, so video from the scene here, and the map that you might have noticed is in Pine Valley, California, which is about 35 miles east of San Diego. That is in higher elevations. A little bit of snow that you can see in this video, but several inches of snow in the mountains, which is making the crash site very difficult to reach. The National Weather Service said there could have been upwards of 10 inches of snow in that region of Southern California. I think back to, and we'll bring in Greg to talk a little bit about the weather too, but I think back to when we lived in Arizona, we used to drive to San Diego a lot. And that drive was just a few hours, but we did go through mountainous terrain where you're going through steep elevations, windy mountain roads on the interstates there. So I can just imagine the rocky mountains up there where they're trying to get to that site.
Yeah, and Greg, you were showing us the snow totals over in that area earlier this morning.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up for you here too to kind of give more perspective to it. We showed the map of location to location. Now let's put location to snowfall totals and see. Small little area, but the high elevation quickly gave them radar estimates. Just the last 24 hours. Just the last 24 hours, over 8 inches of snow, limited to almost no visibility. As Jen was saying, rocky areas, hard to get to begin with. And then you add in that snow about, again, 35 miles away from San Diego. And that's just the one little blip there. This is not a widespread event, just happened to be right in that exact spot. Taking a look at our forecast back home, things are not going to be like that, but there will be a few potential snowflakes Monday night into Tuesday. Looking right now, downtown is calm, but we're going to definitely be on the cloudier side today, so keep that in mind. Not necessarily going to be the most clear of days. Taking a look at future track, rain returns tomorrow. We have not had a lot of rain to speak about here over the course of the last 2 weeks, but that's going to change. This is tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Rain coming down in pockets across Middle Tennessee. I'll track what's out there. I'll let you know where it's at and where it's headed for your entire morning drive when you wake up with us tomorrow. Taking a look at the afternoon, a little less active, but still a few hit and miss showers throughout the day. And then going into tomorrow evening and Saturday, that's when the more consistent and steady rainfall comes down. We have more rain on Sunday and a big cool down Monday into Tuesday. We're going to look at that in 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you coming up at 6:20. This is a quick look here at I-24 Waldron Road. Making that drive in from the Smyrna Laverne area. Things have loosened up a little bit, but things are rather slow on your overall drive as more and more people get out there on the road. Here are your latest drive times. 64 minutes in from Clarksville, 62 on that drive down I-24 from Murfreesboro. 28 minutes, still looking really nice this morning coming in from Mount Juliet.
Justin, thank you. Significant fallout right now on Capitol Hill after that $118 billion border bill, which also included money for Ukraine and Israel, failed a procedural vote in the Senate.
Fox News' Aisha Hasni tells us what's causing the hiccups over on Capitol Hill.
Mr. McConnell. No.
Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, the nail in the coffin as nearly every Republican and several Democrats blocked the bipartisan border deal from getting a vote on the Senate floor.
I just voted no on the border bill. I think it makes it worse.
I came to serve in the Senate because it's a serious place. A day like today makes it hard to believe in that.
Democrat leader Chuck Schumer quickly pivoting to his backup plan, a global aid package without the controversial border policy. That $95 billion bill would include $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $9 billion for humanitarian aid to Gaza and Ukraine, and $4 billion to Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific. Schumer says he will allow amendments and hopes the House will take it up.
The House is in chaos. It doesn't behoove the Speaker well to block everything.
Speaker Mike Johnson hasn't shut the door yet after failing to pass a standalone Israel aid package last night and fumbling the impeachment of DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
I think he'll learn. Mike's a good man. I hadn't lost confidence in him.
Congressman Thomas Massey less forgiving, blasting Johnson on X, writing, "Name one thing that's improved under the new speaker." Johnson calling the entire ordeal a setback.
I don't think that this is a reflection on the leader. We will pass those articles of impeachment. We'll do it on the next round.
And that do-over impeachment vote could come as early as next week if leader Steve Scalise returns to the Hill. On Capitol Hill, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
Aisha, thank you. A night in the spotlight for one star player on the hardwood. We're going to share the highlights from Tennessee and LSU in 2 minutes. Go Vols.
Hey, Nashville SC building up their squad with a local talent. Exciting stuff for the boys in gold. We'll tell you more on the history with the team. And right now, just a moment of thanks. We appreciate you waking up with us right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Look how busy it is on Lower Broadway already.
Never a dull moment.
Deliveries, construction, and hey, a big story we're following this morning is
Get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
6:25 is the time, and boy, the beat goes on for the Tennessee Volunteers as their star point guard Dalton Connect has made his presence known this season. And Jen, I was just talking with somebody in Knoxville yesterday. It is the K.
Oh, they do pronounce the K.
It is Dalton Connect here, and he has averaged 20 points a game.
Well, he's connecting all right.
Yeah, he has been a powerhouse, and he was on display full blast for the Vols last night.
All right, let's take a look here. Vols coming out of the gates firing on all cylinders. Connecting and leading by 23 points at the half. Connecting for the corner three. He would finish with 27 points.
Yeah, the Vols would take this one big. They win 88-68 over LSU, the Toothless Tigers, last night up there in Knoxville.
A lot of growl, no bite. Hey, big news for Nashville SC. The squad has just signed a homegrown player to the roster.
Yes, they did. Congratulations to this young man. The club announced the signing of Isaiah Jones to the first-team contract, or to a first-team contract. He is now the second homegrown player signing in Nashville SC's history. Now, he's a 17-year-old midfielder who's from Thompson Station.
How cool.
And he's been with Nashville SC's Youth Academy since 2020. So that's 4 years ago. That means since he was 13 years old.
Wow.
He's been playing with the U17 squad and played in 7 matches, including 4 starts. Congratulations to that young man.
That
Hopefully,
is awesome.
Bright future ahead over at Geodis Park.
Man, that's just That's just great. I'd absolutely love that. Good for him. Hey, 6:26 right now. Want to just let you know you need to enjoy the weather while it lasts today. Whatever little sunshine or eke out you can get without any rain is going to be good, because for the next 4 days the rain is going to set in. Going to be much cooler as we get into next week, and this is really just some of the headlines in your weather story today. We'll get a deeper dive on the forecast with Greg Bobus in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic. Want to check out one scene on the north side. This is going to be 65 Trinity Lane as we watch that traffic build and build as you make that drive in from the north side this morning. We're doing okay. No major accidents. The biggest slowdown we've seen is over on I-24, very close to the drive coming through Laverne and Smyrna. Haven't seen a crash over there, but traffic is slow. How slow? We'll tell you in a few.
Your time is 6:27, and police are looking for a child and his father who are both missing from Franklin County, Tennessee. Where they could be now and how investigators are asking you to keep a lookout.
Plus, the mother of a man killed by gun violence is now looking for a seat.
Game trip. Score a $100 prepaid debit card. Watch Fox 17 News this morning. Look for the QR code to enter. Get the question right, and you could win. Complete contest rules at fox17.com. You're watching Fox 17 News this morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, a Tennessee pastor charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a vulnerable man, where police say the money went, and the charges that the pastor is now facing.
And a nice start to your Thursday. Look at the sunrise.
Oh my goodness, the sky's on fire.
What a gorgeous start to this Thursday. It is February 8th. Take a picture of that one because it won't last. And man, that's one for the record books. Gorgeous start to the day. Things are changing though in your forecast, and we'll have Greg detail when the rain moves in and then when it's going to move out in just a couple minutes.
These Middle Tennessee sunrises, spectacular.
Something else.
We do want to thank you though for waking up with us and also talk about traffic.
Yes, we do. This is a crash we just picked up at I-440 at Murphy Road on the west side. Authorities literally just got there. We got two cars, one of them facing the wrong way. We're going to look at the details of this coming up in a few.
Well, we are glad to be your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. to get you updated on stories just like that. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. Here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, we are going to get started with a breaking news update. We are following this situation out of White Bridge, the White Bridge neighborhood, early this morning. It's over in West Nashville.
Yeah, a shooting happened. A man got shot in the leg, and police are still looking for whoever is responsible. So we take you now to the scene. Our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar was out there for hours this morning. This is an apartment complex just off White Bridge Road where police do confirm somebody shot a man in the leg. They're looking for who's responsible. Interestingly enough, though, while our crews were out there, a man showed up to the scene wearing a hospital gown and his leg was wrapped in a bandage. We're working to find out whether that man, who was very upset at the time, was at all connected to this. So as we work to put the pieces of this puzzle together, we'll keep you updated live through 9.
At 6:32, though, we're checking in with Greg Bobus.
And a look at that forecast leading us into the weekend. Things are changing day by day, and they will drastically be different by the time we get to Monday into Tuesday. So what is new this morning as you're waking up? Beginning of the week was smooth sailing. We had sunshine, temperatures that were in the 50s and 60s. Today, a little breezy. Wind gusts could be upwards of 30 miles per hour later on this afternoon. So the wind picks up first, fairly cloudy. Clouds are already blanketing part of our sunrise to begin the day. Last dry day before the rain starts tomorrow. No flooding, no severe weather. We're all clear when it comes to code red. Above average by about 15 degrees today, tomorrow, and also on Saturday. Last great day for now. Winter temperatures are going to come back next week. The days ahead, 65 degrees tomorrow, 64 on Saturday, 60 on Sunday, 53 on Monday. Monday into Tuesday will be the end of this weather maker that could end up putting a little bit of light snow in the Cumberland Plateau. Nothing to really cause any issues when it comes to planning your Tuesday morning as far as school and getting to work, but could see a few flakes flying late in the night on Monday. We'll talk about all of that and rain timing in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's tell you about the latest thing we just picked up here on I-440 at Murphy Road. This is over on the west side. Authorities just arrived to try and help out the victims who may have been involved with this particular crash. Unsure what happened here, but you can see one of these cars facing the wrong direction. Doesn't mean they were coming the wrong direction. The car could have just been turned around by the impact there. Authorities are there looking at the victims right now. It doesn't seem like anyone severely hurt, just the posture of the emergency workers would seem seem that people are fairly calm and not the sense of urgency that you would see if someone was really, really hurt. So watch out for that. Here is that drive coming down from 24, coming in from Old Hickory Boulevard. You can see crews on the shoulder here. This is the cause of a backup that's going back towards Murfreesboro. Drive time right now, well over an hour.
Justin, thank you. The mother of a man killed in the Antioch Waffle House shooting back in 2018. Well, she's now looking for a seat at the state legislature, and she wants to go ahead and push, she says, for tougher gun control.
All right, so this is Shondell Brooks. She's been advocating for victims of gun violence since she lost her 23-year-old son, Aquila Da Silva. He died when Travis Reinking opened fire in the Antioch Waffle House. 3 others also died. Brooks says that she feels her son's spirit as she speaks out and wants to honor his legacy by running for a seat in the State House of Representatives.
I am running for the other parents whose children didn't come back home. For our children who deserve to be safe in schools, in stores, movie theaters, parks, and restaurants.
Brooks is a Democrat and also running in District 60. You can see in this video yesterday that she was joined by Representatives Gloria Johnson and also Justin Jones, who have been encouraging her to go ahead and run. If elected, Brooks says she does want to see better background checks and also stricter gun laws.
6:35 right now, Operation Crime and Justice. We have a Tennessee pastor who is now charged with stealing thousands of dollars from a vulnerable man who had disabilities. State investigators say that Pastor David Berry had been running this praise and worship center and tax service in Jasper, Tennessee. That's about an hour west of Chattanooga. Again, a tax center, and as you can see the sign right here, praise and worship center. Investigators say he took $2,800 worth of disability payments from a man whose money he had been managing through that tax service.
Well, police say Berry used that money for, get this, personal meals, a loan for a Super Bowl party, and then cash transfers. We're breaking it all down on your screen right now for you. He does face several charges, we understand. And if you want to read more about this story, go to fox17.com.
An alert right now as police are looking for a missing child and his father out of Franklin County, Tennessee. Let's get straight to the pictures here so perhaps you can help. This is in Winchester, Tennessee, where police say 5-year-old Harley Prevette is missing, and police are also looking for his father, Anthony A.J. Prevette. They're now saying that Harley might be across state lines in Georgia. So if you recognize this picture, the sweet little boy here, or have any information that could help investigators, please call detectives at the number on your screen. You can take a screenshot of that so you can save it. We'll also get this posted at fox17.com.
For sure. Coming up, we're also covering this international story, a change in the Middle East as Israeli airstrikes hit southern Gaza. More on this breaking news.
And a few friends decide to go on an adventure. Not just any friends. They're a little furry and they stand on 4 legs. We'll tell you why police are guiding these llamas through a neighborhood on leashes. It's one of the wilder stories of the morning.
And coming up on Fox 17 News this morning at 7 o'clock.
Stretches and bring it home. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southern Home and Garden Expo.
6:39 is your time, and we do want to get to some breaking news out of the Middle East. Israeli airstrikes killing over a dozen people last night and this morning in the town of Rafah, that's in the southern Gaza Strip. So we do understand that this comes just hours after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected Hamas's ceasefire terms and then vowed to go ahead and expand the offensive into the southern Gaza area. More than half of Gaza's population has fled to Rafah in the mostly sealed border with Egypt. That's where it's located, which is also, we should mention, the main entry point for humanitarian aid. Not a good situation. We'll continue bringing you the very latest when it comes to this breaking news situation.
6:40 our time, and yes, the sun is starting to come up here, but this is the cloudiest picture we've seen as far as a morning start that we've had so far this week, and that's going to continue to be the case. We're not going to get much sunshine here until next week in the forecast. We're shifting the weather pattern from the sunshine to the clouds and eventually rain overnight tonight into tomorrow, 7 a.m. on your Friday. So waking up tomorrow morning, right around this exact same time, you're going to have rain coming down. Light to moderate rainfall will be out there. I'll be tracking it for you. It may slow you down just a little bit, maybe setting the the alarm a few minutes earlier before you go to bed tonight to wake up earlier tomorrow morning. In the afternoon, a little more rain as well. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll look ahead to Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Big changes in the forecast will give us a massive temperature drop by next week. That's coming your way in just a few.
6:41 is the time. Quick look at steer clear traffic out there. Let's get you down to I-440. This thing here is interesting. I-440 here at Murphy Road on the west side. They've got all 3 lanes shut down. You can get off at the exit. You can get by the zebra stripes, but they have shut down all 3 lanes while they deal with this crash coming in from the west side. So this is going to affect you in a big way if you're trying to get over there from, say, the Nations down towards 100 Oaks. That's a good reason why you would use 440, and it's going to be tough to use right now. Yes, Jen?
Justin, on the surface, this just looks like a 2-car crash.
It does.
Off on the far left shoulder.
It
it's
does.
interesting that they've got the entire interstate shut down for it.
It is. It makes me think that someone is more severely hurt than what they're letting on, but in what ways, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to watch it and see exactly what's going on. Steer clear traffic got you covered live and local through 9.
And at 6:42 right now, a lot of young people reportedly think it's okay these days to just drive under the influence of marijuana. But we'll tell you about efforts underway right now to try to counteract that line of thinking and keep our kids safe on the roads.
And a legendary
What it takes.
The spark isn't there.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
All right, take a look at this video. It's unusual. Police officers in Colorado answering the call to round up 3 llamas. They wanted to get out there and play in the snow.
Well, you know, this story just kind of made Erica and I chuckle a little bit because being moms, we have the books in our house known as the Llama Llama series.
Yes.
It's a mama llama and her little baby, and there are all kinds of antics. Well, we said this could be like llama llama snowy drama. Anyhow, these police and to the point of, you know, you never know what our law enforcement is going to deal with on any given day.
Hey, we got a call. We got to round up the llamas.
Llamas on the run.
Yes.
So they go out with leashes and they get these 3 who just broke out of their enclosure. You having a big old time? Officers managed to get them on the leashes, as you can see here. What'd you do today? Well, I was walking llamas in the snow.
You never know what you're going to get. You can't train for that.
No, you can't.
Well, more than 1/3 of Gen Zers think it is okay to drive under the influence of marijuana, and it's a serious situation.
It is, and frightening, especially for a lot of parents. Fox News' Andrea Henderson reporting right now.
Gen Z is getting behind the wheel after using marijuana more than any other age group.
Unfortunately, there's a pretty large minority that are making bad decisions when it comes to consuming cannabis and driving.
According to a survey from the Colorado Department of Transportation, 37% of people ages 16 to 24 believe they can safely drive under the influence of marijuana. 1 out of 5 Gen Z drivers also admitted to driving high within the last month.
They've got their whole lives ahead of them. The last thing they want is a DUI, and the last thing they want is to end up in jail and with $13,000 in fines and penalties.
In 2020, more than 4,200 drivers between the ages of 16 and 24 got a DUI in Colorado. Of those tested, 62.5% tested positive for THC. That's higher than any other age group.
I think there's 2 things that Gen Zers need to know. Number 1, that you can get a DUI for driving under the influence of cannabis. And number 2, it's dangerous. It impairs your perception of time, distance, and speed.
CDOT now working with the DMV, driving schools, and dispensaries like Native Roots to educate young drivers.
We put customer or safety messages on our customer receipts. We have all of our bud tenders take the CDOT Cannabis Impaired Driving course. And we also offer delivery.
She says it's important their customers stay safe.
Regardless of substance or scenario, it's just never okay to drive impaired, which is why we have that focus within our stores.
Now to crisis in the classroom. 10% of educators now say they have been physically assaulted or attacked by a student, but help is available for a lot of our educators in the form of a wearable alert system.
All right, it's something Nashville teacher Mark Hayes calls a game changer. Showing you a photo of him. A student attacked Hayes at Maplewood High School. Well, Hayes says the student was suspended for 3 days. Hayes also says that what he calls a slap on the wrist caused him to temporarily leave a job that he loved.
I believe that anything along the lines of making it easier for a teacher to communicate with anyone outside of the building or inside, depending on the device, where a emergency situation could take place within just a matter of minutes is very beneficial to any school system throughout the state.
All right, so we're going to tell you how this new alert system works and tell you about the impact that teachers believe it could have. That's in a special report tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
Well, looking ahead now, Nashvillians will soon be able to enjoy another celebrity honky-tonk downtown. We're working on the name, though. Should be called a honky-tonk, but it is at the expense of a Nashville staple.
Yeah, so singer John Bon Jovi is opening JBJ's, aptly so, in Nashville later this spring. So JBJ's will take over the space that many of you knew as Merchants. You know, Merchants had a fire about a year ago. They just never were able to get reopened, so Merchants shut down. They were a Nashville staple for 35 years. So this John Bon Jovi bar will reportedly be the tallest bar in downtown Nashville. What we've been debating this morning is, do you call it a honky-tonk if it's not a country spot?
Yeah, that's the question. And so, Greg, we were spinning our wheels here trying to think of, then what do you call it?
Well, we got tickled talking to Justin about it, too, because we said, do you just call it a club?
It's not, but we can do better.
Is
Greg,
it a bar?
what was your suggestion?
Not a honky-tonk, but a honk and roll.
A honk and roll, which I thought was
like
great.
Play on rock and roll?
When you have the bachelorettes rolling down Broadway, they're honking, they're rolling.
There you
the
go.
Woo Girls.
The Woo.
But you had one too, Erica.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as yours, though.
Oh.
It was like a tonk and roll or something like that. I don't know. Tonk and rock.
We don't know
Y'all
what
tell
we're
us
gonna
what you
call
think.
it.
What would you call? What would you call a big establishment, several floors,
Yeah.
rock and roll music, you know, 80s, 90s rock band vibes? What do you call that? Maybe we don't need to give it a special name.
You call it a good time.
There you go.
Call it a good time. Fair
Okay.
Already got AJ's Good Time Bar.
Justin, we already have AJ's Good Time Bar, so good point. Who knows what, nickname we're going to be giving this place when it opens up. Taking a look here. Future Track. Yeah, 6 o'clock on Saturday. Rain coming on a good chunk of the afternoon for your Saturday. Keep that in mind. Saturday night into Sunday, we'll get a little bit of a break, and then Sunday into Monday, a little more rain does start to come down for us. This brings in colder air late Monday into early Tuesday. Might even see a few snowflakes flying on the Cumberland Plateau overnight, Monday into Tuesday. No concern other than the fact that that means colder air moves in for next week. We'll look at that 7-day forecast before we get to 7 o'clock.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
It's daybreak's dance. The moon makes way for the sun's morning entrance, this seen over Maine's Kennebec River. West Coast storms still dropped heavy rain in some places Wednesday, this in Morro Bay, California, and it's home west of the Wasatch Mountain Range, where these buffalo roam Antelope Island in the Great Salt Lake with a backdrop of mountain snow.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's go to I-440. This is at Murphy Road as you make that drive into the west side of town. As you can see, traffic is moving yet again. This crash that was here on the shoulder at one point was over here, actually more back here where you can see the marks on the road, and it had all lanes of 440 shut down at one point, so they've been able to move it to the shoulder. It doesn't look like anyone was severely hurt, so they're waiting on a tow truck now to get this out of here, and then they will clear that scene. Also watching something happening here. This is Ellington Parkway at Broadmoor. You can see where there's an SUV sideways here. Metro Police on the scene dealing with that. This is causing massive backups over into the Madison area. You want to try to take Gallatin Pike as the best way to steer clear of this.
I hope we get that cleared before 7. Justin, thank you. We'll check in again in just a few minutes.
Coming up, Coca-Cola says they're releasing a new flavor of Coke. Find out more about this spiced idea and when you can find it on store shelves.
And as we do get into our 7 o'clock hour this morning, right here on Fox 17 News this morning, a mid-state
Army springs into action immediately to fight to get you the best result as quickly as possible. Injured, there's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Good morning. 5 minutes before 7 o'clock is your time, and we've had some really pretty sunrise shots this morning. This is a live look from Metro Center. The camera that you're looking at here is mounted right on top of our station out toward the white bubble, which is St. Thomas Sports Park. That's the practice facility for our two-tone blue. Any updates that come in on player contracts? Think Derrick Henry, think Ryan Tannehill. We'll be the first to let you know when we get word of any developments as your live local news source through 9 a.m.
Well, we're also talking about this big game trivia contest. Grab your phone to scan the QR code on your screen for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. If you register to play the big game trivia contest and put your football knowledge to the test, well, you could then win a $100 prepaid debit card. Or you could also be entered to win the $5,000 weekly winner prize. Best of luck to you.
Hey, by the way, this is the last day for it.
Oh.
This is the last day of our big game trivia.
All right, scan the QR code right now.
Get in on it now. Hey, here's the story that's making headlines this morning around the world. Coca-Cola coming out with a new flavor. The question is, would you try it?
The new Coca-Cola Spiced, arriving as Coke, competes with seltzer and other popular flavored drinks that are currently on the market. Well, the company says think about a traditional mix of traditional Coke with raspberry and then spiced flavors. What do you think?
I mean, I don't drink a ton of sodas anyways. I probably wouldn't try it. But, and again,
why not?
You only live once. I always say I'll try anything once, but just not being a big soda drinker anyways.
It's their first permanent new flavor, or new permanent flavor in years.
You know, because Dr. Pepper's kind of spicy.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has similar...
I see where you're going.
A similar taste.
If you want to try it out, it's going to hit the store shelves on February 19th. Let us know. I'm curious.
I wonder if they're going to have Super Bowl commercials for it.
Probably.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Super Bowl ads, looking ahead to tomorrow, we're going to be previewing some of the best commercials for this year's Super Bowl.
That's always one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, so you'll get a little sneak peek tomorrow morning.
Can we also, let's bring Greg in. Let's talk snacks.
That's what we really
got to plan.
Okay, Greg, if you're having a Super Bowl, are you having a Super Bowl party this year?
My parents will be in town, so I mean a little just family get together for the game.
Favorite Super Bowl snack?
I love to, I love to make my own homemade salsa.
Okay.
Or wings. I got to have wings.
All right.
Wings guy.
Classic.
Taking a look here. Beautiful sunrise here. We've been showing photos this morning. We'll continue to. If you want to show us your photos of the sunrise this morning, you might see them right here on air. Ashley from Dickson sent this one in. Beautiful sunrise. The most clouds, though, that we've seen in a morning here in about 2 weeks. 64 degrees for your Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Better rain chance on Saturday than on Sunday. Keep that in mind. That day going to be fairly rainy, and you might even get a little bit of thunder mixed in there, but no severe weather and no flooding, no red boxes here when it comes to any code red days ahead of us. But we're going to turn cooler, 62 degrees later on this afternoon, 40s by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. So our nighttime temperature Friday night is going to be warmer than every afternoon temperature we have Tuesday through Friday of next week. We go back to a more winter pattern about 6 days from right now.
Steer clear traffic time right now, 2 minutes before 7 o'clock, and we got a problem. This is a live look right now on Ellington Parkway near Broadmoor Drive. And as you can see in our live T-Dot camera, 2 cars involved in a crash, that white SUV being one of them. We do have Metro Police and we do have T-Dot both on the scene. But here's the issue. Ellington Parkway is a very popular detour, if you will, for folks who are commuting into Nashville from north of town. So if you typically take Ellington as a detour to I-65, that's not going to be the best idea right now. This is right as you get off Briley Parkway to come south on Ellington. You could definitely take Dickerson Pike as another backup to get into Nashville this morning. More in-depth Steer Clear traffic reports in just a couple minutes.
Maybe you've noticed this. We're talking about some science news. Monarch butterflies native to North and South America, well, it does appear to be taking a hit when it comes to their numbers. And some folks say, yeah, they've seen that.
Yeah, noticing it last summer. I remember when the reports first started coming out. Well, new studies out this morning show that in Mexico, for example, This winter, the number of monarch butterflies has dropped by 60%.
Wow.
They're now reporting they have the second lowest level ever of monarch butterflies that are wintering in Mexico. And experts say some of the reason behind the decrease right now would be heat, drought, and an overall loss of habitat.
Well, the butterflies migrate, like you said, from Canada to the United States to Mexico and back and forth all over again. Just an interesting science story to get your Thursday started. Stay with us. 7 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
7 o'clock, and right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, some Tennessee lawmakers are trying to replace every member of Tennessee State University's board. More drama between the state and TSU, the hottest debate happening right now in our legislature.
Clouds increasing, wind picking up, and then rain moves in tomorrow. When the rain leaves, winter returns. Breaking it all down on the forecast for you.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side. This is Ellington Parkway, where things are getting better near Broadmoor. I'll explain in a few.
Busy morning, but do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. And we begin this hour with a breaking news update. If you've been watching throughout the course of the morning, you know we've been live over just off of White Bridge Road, where there was a shooting in an apartment complex. A man got shot in the leg, went to the hospital, expected to be okay. Police right now are still looking for whoever is responsible. Stay with us as we gather more information and bring you those live updates through 9.
We also have continuing coverage this morning as some state lawmakers are spearheading a bill that would replace every member of Tennessee State University's Board of Trustees. And this does come as lawmakers accuse Tennessee State University of financial and other mismanagement. TSU says the state of Tennessee, though, owes them $2 billion.
A lot of back and forth, heated debates and tension between the two entities, and we've been covering those stories in depth here at Fox 17 News. Let's go to the current drama that's unfolding. Senator John Lundberg says as this bill he's proposed stands right now, TSU's Board of Trustees and its members would be eliminated in June. Senator Lundberg introducing an amendment that would vacate and replace all of the members of the board. That proposal passed by the Senate Operations Committee. The bill will now head to the House Committee on Government Operations for debate. We'll let you know what happens next.
We do want to bring you up to speed, though, because the sunshine, it's going to be happening, but then showers later this evening.
Yes, tonight into tomorrow is the big changing point from all the calm, quiet weather that we've had all week long to a rainy and windier scenario that takes us into the weekend. Last great day with warmth and no rain. 4 straight days with showers start tomorrow, continue all the way into the beginning of next week. No flooding, no severe weather. It's not going to be a big deal when it moves through, but it will be a long duration of on and off rainfall for us. So today, enjoy it while it lasts. Last great day, above average by 15 degrees. We'll be in the low to middle 60s across the board. Yesterday, we were 1 degree shy of hitting 70. Here's the wind. Wind will pick up here about 15 miles per hour, but gusts up to 30 miles per hour later on this afternoon. So the wind, a bigger story than anything else today, but still 62 degrees. Tomorrow, 65. Light rain showers morning, afternoon, and evening. We will look at those on Future Track. And Monday night into Tuesday, the 7-day, no misprint there. I have the words "a few flakes?" ? We'll take a look at who might see some snowflakes falling coming up in a few.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a look at the north side of town. This is going to be Ellington Parkway at Broadmoor. As you make that drive in, we had a SUV that at one point was sideways across the road. They've been able to get that out of the way. Now they're still dealing with the leftovers of that crash. As a matter of fact, it was this SUV right here that was sideways across the road. They've been able to get it over there to the side so cars can't get by. It is causing minor delays, to be sure. You can take Gallatin Road as the best way to steer clear of that. Still dealing with that crash over on the west side, I-440 at the Murphy Road exit. Thankfully, it is no longer blocking all of the lanes here on the interstate as it was a few moments ago. You can get by with minor delays at best.
Justin, thank you. Continuing coverage this morning on the battle to keep the Tennessee Valley Authority, or the TVA, from putting a natural gas power plant and subsequent pipelines in Cheatham County.
We've been covering this story for a while here on Fox 17 News. Well, the TVA proposal does involve 286 acres of land right near Ashland City. Those living nearby, though, strongly against this particular idea. Cities like Pegram and Ashland City, they have passed resolutions against this plan. TVA, though, is holding another community input meeting that is going to happen next week to help explain this project in more details.
I want TVA to wake up to understanding what they have just dropped on this community, and the burden is on TVA to understand Cheatham County. It's not the burden on Cheatham County to prove this needs to go somewhere else.
This is really meant to be an interactive session with the public, both with microphone Q&A and also time to interact with our subject matter experts who will be on site. We will not have the environmental impact statement draft out until later on this year. So this is really just an opportunity again to update people with what we have available now and hopefully answer their questions, and of course deal with some of the rumors that we understand maybe in the community as well.
The meeting that Erica just mentioned is happening next Tuesday at 6 o'clock at the Cheatham County Middle School gym.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice, and new this Thursday morning. There is a victim sharing her side of the story after her car was wrecked in the middle of a police chase this week.
All right, so let's check in right now with Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar to detail her side of the story. Karen, that sounds frightening.
Yeah, you can just imagining how frightening it must be that a car hits you at full speed. And that's exactly what Joanna Palermo tells me happened. She said that she was fearing for her life. Now, I want to tell you how it all started. Police say that they were chasing down a suspect for stealing a Nissan, among other offenses, when that suspect crossed this road here on Nolensville Pike and hit Palermo on that corner. Now, the suspect's car was actually thrown into this ditch. You can see pieces of this Nissan still here. That crash just happening on Tuesday. Now, I want you to hear from Palermo the moments leading up, the moment that that car hit her car. Take a listen.
By the time that I realized that this car was going to hit me, it was too late. The only thing that I could do was close my eyes, ball up, and pray to God. And I closed my eyes, and I felt the impact, and then I blacked out.
Now, Palermo is a mother of a 3-year-old. She tells me that when she woke up, she was just thankful to be alive for the sake of her daughter. Now, coming up in the next half hour, you'll hear more from Palermo and see some pictures of that crash. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
That was absolutely wild. Karen, we'll look forward to your next report here in just a little bit. Right now, not unusual for Metro Council to have some disagreements, but it is unusual for city leaders to try to shout over each other and even, get out of hand, out of order. We're going to tell you more from City Council in Metro Nashville. From the vice mayor's perspective, we'll tell you what has everybody so fired up.
And taking 2 live looks, one of the Nashville skyline right there, letting you know we're your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up.
But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:10 is the time. About half of Metro Council's 40 members are brand new. The mayor, vice mayor in this case, is also brand new. Now, there is normally a way that Metro Council meetings are conducted. Each person is called on one by the vice mayor before speaking. But the newest council member, one of them anyway, Tasha Ellis, had a point of order that could not wait. Watch the faces and body language of the people talking here.
Ms. Ellis.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that Councilmember Gamble gets her 3 seconds back. There was a clock on the time when she was given her to speak.
Ms. Ellis, I will add 3 seconds to the end. Once it beeps, if she still needs to speak, I'll give her 3 seconds, okay?
Should I respond to her or to you?
You speak to me, ma'am, during the meeting, okay? You address me, the chair.
Then I think that says to the community that no progress is going to be made towards the potential of creating missing middle market rate housing. And so I think that we need to, sorry.
Yes, Ms. Ellis. A point of order is when you disagree with my interpretation of, like, you know, say one time I forgot to call for discussion on something. That's a point of order, right?
Okay.
As to procedural stuff.
Okay. And so, and is it your responsibility to monitor the context of the member?
It is, yes, ma'am.
All of this happened as they were talking about, you know, housing and zoning. This was at the 4-hour, 30-minute mark of the meeting, by the way.
7:11 your time right now, and if you are on social media the next couple of days when it starts to rain and you start seeing the word snow popping up all over the place, I'll tell you right now, nothing to worry about. Any snow from Monday evening into the overnight that does come down could be for the Cumberland Plateau, but we don't have a ton of cold air, and it's been warm for a very long time, so whatever does come down not going to stick to our pavement, but it might give you a couple little just slick spots that are out there, but don't worry about a winter wonderland here. What this does indicate, though, colder air moving in as we get out of the weekend and go into next week. The 60s will be gone. 40s for high temperatures return. We'll let you know how long they're going to last and stay below average coming up as we go into the next check of your forecast.
Still clear traffic out there. Let's get to that problem we've been watching at 440 at Murphy Road over on the west side. As you can see, traffic is moving by, but no more big delays like we were seeing earlier over there with that particular crash. That's good news. This is 24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway on that drive coming in from Antioch and Laverne and Smyrna. We're going to give you the latest drive times coming up in a few. A proposal to add exemptions to the state's abortion law fails to pass a House subcommittee. We're going to hear part of that heated debate there. And a threat that you may be overlooking.
With Nashville's largest selection of leather motion furniture.
Sofas and sectionals, bedroom and dining room, reclining furniture, and more.
Plus free next day delivery.
It's the B.F. Myers Furniture President's Day sale.
Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. 7:15 is your time, and new this morning, a bill that would make exceptions to the state's criminal abortion law for medical emergencies or rape has failed to pass a House subcommittee.
Bill HB 1884 proposed abortions that were necessary due to medical emergencies as well as abortions to end pregnancies caused by rape. It would not be considered a crime. The debate over this particular proposal, though, became very heated, so take a listen.
I think we have to take into consideration that when rape takes place, the trauma, the impact of it, not only on an adult woman, but it happens to children also. And I would hope that we can see that the humane thing for us to do would be to not force those persons under those circumstances to carry that child.
And I can promise you, sir, that there are people, adults, children that are alive today, and thank God every day that their mother didn't go and have them removed from their body.
Well, as you can tell, a lot of emotion wrapped up in this debate. So far, none of the bills to add exemptions to the state's abortion law have made any significant progress in our legislature. 7:17 right now, and a Fox 17 News environmental alert about the very real possibility of earthquakes in Tennessee.
You may not know it, but the state experiences hundreds of small quakes every year. Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna has more on why it's important to go ahead and just understand your risk.
Whenever you hear about earthquakes, your brain probably takes you to areas like Alaska or into California, but right here in Tennessee, we have plenty of earthquakes of our own, too. We have two seismic zones that run right through parts of Tennessee. Over here into West Tennessee, that's the New Madrid seismic zone, and then over into East Tennessee, you have the Eastern Tennessee seismic zone. Right here in Middle Tennessee, we're right in between those two seismic zones, so we don't have near the amount of earthquakes here like they do over into West Tennessee or even into parts of East Tennessee either. In fact, the New Madrid seismic zone is the the most active seismic zone in the United States, and it has produced some very strong earthquakes in its past. 1811 to 1812, 3 very powerful earthquakes, magnitude 7.5. That was the first of these very strong ones. That was December 16th, 1811. That was in northeast Arkansas, but within that seismic zone, magnitude 7.3. January 23rd, 1812. That one was in Missouri, and then that magnitude 7.5 again, February 7th, 1812. That was in parts of Tennessee and also into Missouri. And then shortly after that, about 200 moderate to large aftershocks recorded, almost 1,800 earthquakes, magnitude 3.0 to 4.0 recorded, and that's for the time frame of the December 16th, 1811 to March 15th, 1812. The USGS put out this map right here, and this shows the most recent earthquakes right here in Middle Tennessee, and or actually the entire state of Tennessee. This is over the past 30 days. Over into West Tennessee, they've had some earthquake activity over there, a couple of earthquakes in East Tennessee. Right here in Middle Tennessee, though, no earthquakes recorded here over the past 30 days. So what can you do? TEMA recommends purchasing earthquake insurance if you don't have it. Traditional homeowners and business insurance policies do not cover any of this earthquake damage. Also, you can practice drop, cover, and hold on. So you're going to drop to the ground, take cover under any sturdy table or desk, and then just hold on until the shaking stops.
Fascinating. Super interesting stuff. All right, speaking of the weather, we've got Greg here now to talk about a lot of changes that are on the way over the next, what is it, 4 days?
Yeah, showers in the forecast.
Yeah, and when the 4 days are over with the rain, then we're going to be cold again. So we'll have the complaints of the rain and then the complaints
you got to open the complaint desk.
Listen, it's so funny because our kids have talked about how much they love this weather, right? It's sunshine, they're outside playing, doing all the things, and I had to tell my daughter, I said, hey, it's still winter, remember?
Yeah. Don't get too used to this.
It kind of tricks us.
Look at the calendar. Yeah, we're still in February, and we're still early in the month here. So the big transitions that we're going to have start today. We have cloud cover picking up as we speak. The wind will pick up throughout the afternoon. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. The last dry day before what we mentioned is a 4-day rain event. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, there will be times where we do have rain on the radar. We're not washing out any of the days, but there will be rain there. No flooding, no severe weather connected with those showers. The first showers that start to move in are going to be tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Very light rainfall. 62 degrees and no rain today, but that rain does pick up going into Friday. Saturday is the rainier day of the upcoming weekend, and we'll look at it all on Future Track coming up in 5 minutes in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-440 at Murphy Road. This is on that drive in from the west side of town. You can get by. The crash that was out here in the road is now being hauled away by this tow truck, so you're in much better shape. Let's get you over to I-40. This is Central Pike coming in from Hermitage and Mount Juliet in that area. A slow go here as you approach the entrance ramp there as that traffic merges in. That's where the slowdown is. The overall drive times look like this. 78 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro, 41 from Mount Juliet.
We have an update regarding a mid-state deputy hurt in a crash. The Dickson County Sheriff's Office, unique warning for drivers and livestock owners.
Hey, listen, remember, we are still in Middle Tennessee, and that can be a danger, especially in our rural communities. So we'll explain that in
commercials. Is that in your background said former U.S. Marine? You can trust them. I knew when you'd say something to me, I didn't have to wonder if you were telling me the truth.
We have a very sad breaking news update. We now know all 5 Marines on board of a helicopter that went down in the mountains right outside of San Diego. They are now all dead. Well, crews say the helicopter disappeared late Tuesday night after leaving Creech Air Force Base. That's near Las Vegas. It was found Wednesday morning over in the snowy mountains. The names of the Marines who died, that information has not been released just yet. We'll have some more breaking news updates regarding this sad story throughout our newscast.
724 right now. Justin McFarland reports on our road conditions and traffic stories every weekday morning. This is one, though, that really stood out to us. This is from Dickson County. If you're not looking but you're listening, just glance at your screen right here. The damage to this Dickson County Sheriff's Deputy's SUV is the result of that deputy hitting a cow.
How did the whole hood come off the car?
My gosh.
Whole hood
well, you
removed
think
from
about
this SUV.
How big
That is true.
Man.
Yeah, so this happened out in Dickson County. The deputies on the mend after that patrol car hit that cow. You can see the damage there. The vehicle is totaled. The deputy had to go to the hospital. Thankfully, that deputy is going to be okay. The sheriff's office is warning anyone, if you've got this livestock there on your property, make sure you've got the proper fencing up and intact. You know, it can get loose over time.
Listen, we've had a situation at our home where a cow farmer a couple miles up the road, their cows keep getting out of their fence and they've been in our front yard. And so you just, to Justin's point,
they run out of grass, man. They get motivated.
Got to make sure you got them secure.
Yeah, be careful and move over if you see one of them. Taking a look here, future track going into tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. You're going to wake up right around this exact same time to some rain that will be on the radar. I'll be tracking it for you in real time, where it's at, where it's headed. And that's just the beginning. The afternoon, a few more light rain showers. None of this is going to be on the heavier side by any means for your Friday, but going into Saturday, we'll go into a more rainy situation for everyone, and the darker greens indicating a little heavier rainfall that will move in. Saturday is the rainier day of the two for the weekend. Most of your Sunday will be on the drier side. We got to talk colder temperatures. A new look at your 7-day forecast as we go into our 7:30 half hour.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's get you to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard as you make that drive down from the Hendersonville area. It is slow go. No crashes, though. This is just congestion, and the drive time show at 47 minutes now from Hendersonville into downtown. That's becoming our new norm. I think that's the third or fourth time we've hit that this week alone. Best way to steer clear, Gallatin Pike, or better yet, give yourself all the time that you need.
7:27 and happening right now, North Nashville's John Early Museum Magnet Middle School is celebrating Black History Month with a creative student-driven project.
Now, inside their school is a museum that is out there and open to the public and curated completely by students. This month, they are celebrating Black Voices by highlighting all of the accomplishments of Metro Nashville Public School graduates. That includes, of course, achievements by actors, authors, composers, as well as church leaders that bring this exhibit to life.
Very cool. Thanks to Erica Glover, by the way. She went over there yesterday and spoke and brought us that story. Hey, still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, the mother of a man who was killed in a shooting here in Nashville announcing her bid for a House seat. How she thinks she can help prevent more deaths.
In a few minutes, hear from...
At the President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Mattress Firm.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Unless I was with someone, I'd ride my bike, but I wouldn't walk on my own in this area.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, some folks in Germantown worried for their safety after a woman was attacked. What they say they're doing now to prepare for the worst.
Waking up this morning to increasing cloud cover, and the wind will pick up. This is all ahead of 4 days worth of rain starting tomorrow. I'm tracking in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic, Ellington Parkway still dealing with a bit of a wreck over there at the Broadmoor exit. We're going to tell you why it's much better than before coming up in a few.
We're going to get started, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. We know your safety and the safety of your family is of utmost importance. And so we bring you this story in Operation Crime and Justice now, as a lot of folks in the Germantown neighborhood of Nashville are on edge. Police say a man attacked a 25-year-old woman who was out on a run over the weekend, and now members of this community are both trying to make sure that person is found and also kind of doing a gut check and a reassessment of their own safety.
It's a scary situation. The Metro Police Department, they are looking for one man in particular. He is wanted for attempted rape after they say he grabbed the woman up, threw her into a fence, and then put her in a chokehold. Police say, thankfully, a good Samaritan stepped in and was able to scare that man off. Now, we're showing you some runners out there who say they're scared. This is over on the Cumberland River Greenway where they do like to run. And they say, now they're making some changes going forward.
I'm thinking about maybe running with my taser, running with pepper spray now, just because, Nashville's just different now.
We've heard that a lot lately. Nashville just feels different now. Police are still looking for the person responsible. As we mentioned, we're giving you another look at that person. Last seen walking away from a homeless camp near 2nd Avenue North and Cement Plant Road.
We want to know what you think, okay? We're having a poll right now over on X, formerly known as Twitter. We got to say that. Do you feel safe exercising in your neighborhood? Now, the good news is when you look here, 72% say, yeah, I feel good. Feel safe.
If you want to sound off both voting and comment-wise, because you do have the ability to do both, so take part in the poll and then leave us a comment. You can do that by going to twitter.com, search Fox Nashville, or you can scan that QR code with your smartphone right there on your screen.
New this Thursday morning, though, we are hearing from a victim sharing her scary story after her car was wrecked by a suspect's stolen car. All of this happening during a police chase.
Imagine you're driving down the road, you get caught in the middle of a police chase, and all of a sudden you're wrecked out on the side of the road. That is terrifying. And that woman sharing her story with Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live with these new updates this morning.
Yeah, well, I spoke to the victim, Joanna Palermo, who tells me that it was a frightening experience, and she didn't expect it, as anybody wouldn't expect it, on a Tuesday afternoon, as all she was trying to do was run errands, and she was going down this road on Nolensville Pike when that suspect's car slammed into hers, causing her to black out. And then afterwards, that suspect's car then fell into this ditch that you see right here. If my camera person can just zoom in, we've seen the front of the sign of that car, a Nissan we showed you earlier. Now you can still see that there are remnants on the ground from that terrible crash. Now, police say it all started because they were chasing down a woman for stealing a Nissan, among other offenses. And unfortunately, Palermo was at the bad end of it, injuring herself during that crash. I don't know if you can see on your screen, but that's her white car that was slammed into. And now I just want to remind you that Palermo is a mother of a 3-year-old. She didn't think that she was going to make it. Now I want you to hear what she has to say after she regained consciousness.
By the time that I regained consciousness, I looked around and I realized that I was alive, and that was all I thought. I thought, I'm alive, and I thought about my daughter. And I said, okay, I'm okay. And then I thought, what if I'm paralyzed? And all I hear is screaming going on outside the car, and this wonderful lady, she screams through the car, don't move, don't move. The cops are coming.
Luckily, Palermo is expected to survive and be okay, but as I mentioned, she's having a lot of difficulty even lifting her arms and has a lot of bruises on her legs, all because she says this is all because the suspect decided to make a bad choice. Now, in regards to the suspects, they have a $72,000 bond. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:35, taking a look at your forecast here on a Thursday morning. We're getting closer to the weekend, but the weekend brings in our rain chance that we've talked about all week long, kind of gearing up for it, getting ready and getting mentally prepared for colder air on the backside of it. What are we watching? Well, there will be light rain that begins to move in tonight into tomorrow. Some thunder possible on Saturday. Our best chance for some more moderate and steady rainfall for multiple hours is going to be on Saturday. Flood risk low, no severe weather expected, so it's going to be just a rainmaker here on and off for 4 days in a row, and the wind starts to influence our forecast today as well. Not terribly windy, but definitely a good breeze that will kick up here this afternoon. 15-mile-per-hour wind speeds, wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. I mentioned gearing up mentally for the colder air that moves in. Take a look. 60 degrees on Sunday, but then 50s turn to 40s by the middle of next week.
Still clear traffic for you this morning at 7:36. Quick look at what we're dealing with out there. This is going to be I-65 at Moore's Lane as you make the way in from the Franklin and Cool Springs area. Had a slight delay here at one point. It is now freed up and you're much better shape there driving in from Williamson County. All right, we were just dealing with the crash right over here on the shoulder at Ellington Parkway near Broadmoor. Not anymore. We're all clear in that direction as well. Overall drive times look something like this. The biggest problem we've got coming in from Murfreesboro, around 73 minutes.
Coming up, a Tennessee pastor indicted for financial exploitation and theft. What crews say happened. Disturbing case here for sure.
A lawsuit that's made national headlines. The settlement between the six.
I'll keep it. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is easy.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
7:40 is the time here on this Thursday morning, and the mother of a young man killed in the Antioch Waffle House shooting back in 2018 is now looking for a seat at the State House.
And she says that she is wanting to push for tougher gun control as part of that run. Shondell Brooks is her name. She's been advocating for victims of gun violence since she lost her son, Aquila Da Silva. He died when Travis Ranking opened fire in the Antioch Waffle House. 3 others also died in that shooting. Brooks says that she feels like her son is with her as she is speaking out, and she wants to honor his legacy by running for a seat in the State House of Representatives.
I am running for the other parents whose children didn't come back home. For our children who deserve to be safe in schools, in stores, movie theaters, parks, and restaurants.
Now, Brooks will be running as a Democrat. She's running in District 60. She was joined during her announcement by Representative Gloria Johnson, as well as State Representative Justin Jones, who both have encouraged her to run. If elected, she says she wants to see better background checks and stricter gun laws.
Operation Crime and Justice right now. We have a Tennessee pastor who is facing charges this morning, accused of stealing thousands of dollars from a vulnerable man.
Now, state investigators say that it was Pastor David Berry who runs the Praise and Worship and Tax Service in Jasper, Tennessee. That's about half an hour west of Chattanooga there on I-24. Investigators say he took around $2,800 worth of disability payments from a man whose money he had been managing.
Investigators say that Berry had also named himself as a conservator of that man's other money. They say Berry used the money for personal meals, a loan for a Super Bowl party, and cash transfers. He faces several charges, including the financial exploitation of an elderly or vulnerable adult.
Such a shame, Berry. Let's get to Greg. He's taking a look at your forecast.
That we are. Time right now is 7:42. A very quick check of your forecast here. What is the next weather maker? It's the rainy pattern that we are settling into. Taking a look at future track. It arrives tonight into tomorrow. And once it starts, we're going to get wave after wave going into the weekend. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up right around this time. We'll be tracking some rain on the radar. It won't be all that heavy, but there will be some pockets of isolated to scattered showers. We'll let you know where they're at, where they're headed, and then work you through the rest of your day, which will have a little more light rainfall that will be on and off throughout your day. Saturday looks to be the rainiest day of the next 4. We'll have some showers you wake up to that continue into the afternoon and the evening. The more south we get, the heavier the rainfall will be. Might even have a clap or two of thunder, and then we get colder going into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll look at that in 6 minutes in the next check of your forecast.
7:43. Let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with your traffic. This is going to be I-24 at the Waldron Road exit as you make that drive in from Laverne. As you can see, traffic moving along, but slowly there. No major crashes. The overall drive time from Murfreesboro to Nashville around an hour and 12 minutes. Continuing coverage now, as an anti-LGBTQ ordinance in Murfreesboro is now no more. The city did settle a lawsuit from the American Civil Liberties Union. Now, the lawsuit stemmed from a policy that the city adopted that denied all special event permits requests from the Tennessee Equity Project. Now, the group runs the city's Pride Festival. The original ordinance banned all sexual conduct and classified homosexuality as some of those things that needed to be banned. An amendment later removed that type of language. The ACLU says that the city of Murfreesboro will pay around $500,000 as a part of that settlement. You can read the full story, including the terms of that settlement, on our website at fox17.com.
It's 7:44 right now. Nashville leaders are aware, but what's being done about it? Amanda Chin investigates the ongoing roofie problem in Nashville bars in just a couple of minutes.
And John Bon Jovi getting ready to open up a brand new.
Insurance companies could put us out of business if they wanted to. all they have to do is be fair. But they're not. I can help.
Good morning. It's 7:47 right now. Leaders in Nashville acknowledge there is a roofie problem here. Folks, unfortunately, go out to a bar or a restaurant. They're expecting to just have a good time, but then somebody slips something into their drink.
Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin joining us in the studio right here, explaining about how the city's addressing this serious issue.
Yes, good morning, Jen and Erica. It is a serious issue, and each year, close to 500,000 Americans are sexually assaulted or raped. It's an alarming statistic that's affecting those here in Nashville. So what's being done to stop this? Well, less than half of reported sexual assaults last year in Nashville may have involved alcohol. That comes from the Sexual Assault Center. Teddy's Tavern is one of only 2 bars in the Broadway area, a part of the Safe Bar program right now. The Safe Bar program is a bystander intervention program that partners with establishments across the city to help train staff on how to intervene if someone is being sexually assaulted. But why aren't more bars a part of the Safe Bar program? The general manager of Teddy's Tavern doesn't understand why other bars and restaurants downtown are not a part of the program.
I don't know why bars aren't taking these steps. I don't see why it wouldn't be proper protocol for every single bar to do this every single day.
Now, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, you'll hear the answers we are getting from other bars in the Broadway area. But for now, reporting live in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Amanda, thank you for bringing that to our attention. Looking ahead, Nashvillians will soon be able to enjoy another celebrity honky-tonk. We're still talking about the downtown area, but the name might surprise you.
Yeah, John Bon Jovi's getting in on the action. So do we call it a honky-tonk? If it's all rock and roll, well, that's up for debate right now. But you'll want to know that that space where John Bon Jovi is putting his name on a bar is going to occupy what has been a downtown Nashville staple. It's the Merchants Building. 35 years is how long the Merchants restaurant has been on Lower Broadway. A lot of people have a lot of memories there. That's the first place in Nashville where I went out to dinner.
Oh, really?
10 years ago.
Oh, well, John Bon Jovi, the team says that it's going to open in Nashville, of course, later this spring. And like you mentioned, it's going to take over that building, the popular space there. And I was surprised to say this is going to be one of the tallest buildings in that area.
Yeah, I wonder if they're planning to add on. I mean, surely they'll do a rooftop bar.
That's, you got to have the rooftop. That's like a staple now.
That's the new thing. So as the plans come out and we get renderings for JBJ's, we'll be sure to let you know.
Okay, so tallest bar downtown, rooftop potential.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the middle floor, they have to have like a secondary bar that's just called halfway there.
I agree.
Greg,
we're full of all the advice.
Hire me for your money.
Somebody hire the guy.
Yeah. It's the honk and roll, JBJ's, and you have the halfway there bar halfway up. That's what I'm saying.
Funny.
Taking a look here at your forecast. Let's spill the beans when it comes to your coffee forecast this morning. It's 44 degrees at 7 o'clock. So we're right in that ballpark right now. 47 degrees in the next hour, and then 50 by 9 a.m. We had a sunrise of 6:42. You're not seeing a ton of it, though. Unfortunately, this morning the clouds are taking over, and they will continue to do that throughout the day. A little windy later on this afternoon. All focus goes to tomorrow and then the upcoming week, and we've talked about the Friday rain and Saturday rain. Sunday into Monday, a little bit different. On and off rainfall chances both days. Saturday, a little bit rainier, maybe a clap of thunder, no severe weather. Sunday, we start the day with some rain, we end the day with some rain. So we kind of bookend the day with rain, and then we bring in cooler air for Monday. That's the pivot point where we go back to winter for Tuesday and Wednesday. Scan the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, QR code right there, because you're going to want to be tracking this rain in real time. It's not going to be a washout any day, Friday through Monday, but there will be waves of rain that do move in periodically throughout each of those days. We're talking about temperatures that do get colder. Now, I'm not talking the bone-chilling, dangerous cold we had last month, but 45 degrees on Tuesday for a high temperature will be a little bit of a shock to the system when we almost hit 70 yesterday. So get prepared. We're still in February. Most of next week will be in the 40s.
Stay clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-65. This is at Dickerson Pike. This has become part of your normal drive, unfortunately, coming in from the north side because things are slow, very slow indeed. Coming in from Madison, Hendersonville, Rivergate, places like that. This is part of that drive. You could try to use Dickerson Pike if you would like, but it's all pretty slow this morning. Let's take a look at Donaldson Pike. If you're going to the airport, that's the exit right here. You're doing fine. Coming in, things are a little bit slower here, especially in this particular lane as you approach Bradley Parkway from the east side.
Justin, thank you. Still ahead this morning, an injured bald eagle found last year at a Middle Tennessee construction site. Well, we're sharing a positive update.
This is really neat, and we want to say good morning to you as we get your day kicked off here. It is Thursday, February 8th. A live look into downtown Nashville.
Place for thousands here in Titans country, and we're ready to fight for you. Call Hughes and Coleman, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. 800-800-4600.
Welcome back. We're taking a live look over in certain areas of Nashville. Right here on Lower Broadway, always busy. You know, we were talking about the new honky tonk that's heading there.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi.
JBJ is going in the Old Merchants building, and so much more happening downtown. In fact, we're working to get some updates for you in the next couple of weeks on that new Eric Church venue. That's also in the heart of downtown, closer to the 2nd Avenue district. So always something going up, and we're working to keep you in the know right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Hey, we're also talking about this story. An injured bald eagle is once again free after spending 4 months at a wildlife rehab facility.
Really cool. Back in October, we told you that construction workers found the injured eagle near the new Liberty Creek High School in Sumner County. The bird taken to Walden's Puddle for care, and take a look at this. Really cool that folks from the school were able to set it free. That eagle had been diagnosed with a serious wrist injury, and vets were worried it might not ever be able to fly again. But things started looking up for the eagle, and this is the result.
So this was a very touch and go process. We were very involved working with our veterinarian often, and thankfully it was a good outcome. We got to release him today.
I know a lot of teachers at Liberty Creek, that school complex, and they said that in all their years of teaching, while they have experienced really incredible things, they said that this was one of the most fascinating moments that they've ever seen.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Tennessee, by the way, is home to more than 175 nesting pairs of bald eagles. I didn't know that. It's believed that the male eagle they release has a mate in the area. So
you're saying maybe one day down the road we'll have a little eaglet watch? Maybe we can get it. Maybe we can get an eagle cam.
Hey, I mean, there's a good chance. Taking a look here. 3 things we'll talk about as we go into our 8 o'clock half hour with updates to all of them for you. Now, this will be our last great day with warmth and no rain, but we're going to get windy. We'll take a new look at how windy we're going to be, not just today, but leading into the weekend. We have 4 straight days with rain showers starting tomorrow. When you wake up tomorrow, wet pavement, and we will already have rain coming down, and it will continue. I have a new look at future track next half hour, and then no flooding or severe weather, but I'll let you know which day out of those 4 has the best chance for some thunder and potentially even a little bit of heavier rainfall. It's not for everyone, but we'll find that spot for you. And then we flip all this away and we go back to winter-like temperatures. So we're talking about a big drop from 62 degrees today. Next week will be more than 20 degrees cooler in some spots. A lot of new things coming your way as we roll the clock over to 8 o'clock in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-65 and I-24 on the north side. We are seeing traffic come together and slow down all the way into town there from the north side. These folks are coming in from places like Hendersonville and Rivergate, all the way back towards Gallatin. The folks on this side are coming in from places like Jolton and Whites Creek. This is 24. This is 65. Right here at the junction is where we get the huge slowdown. You can try to take Brick Church Pike. You can try to take Dickerson, Ellington Parkway. It's still going to be a slow go. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes this morning at least to get into town.
You can score with the big game trivia. Grab your phone to scan the QR code that's right here on your screen for your chance to win some cash. Okay, register to play the big game trivia contest and put your football knowledge to the test to win a $100 prepaid debit card or a chance to be the $5,000 weekly winner. Today's the last day, so go ahead and enter. Best of luck.
In Crisis in the Classroom, Fox 17 News has learned 10% of educators say they've been physically assaulted or attacked by a student. Well, now help is coming in the form of a wearable alert system.
Well, it's something Nashville teacher Mark Hayes calls a game changer. A student attacked Hayes at Maplewood High School. Hayes says the student was suspended for 3 days. He also says that what he calls a slap on the wrist caused him to temporarily leave a job that he loved.
I believe that anything along the lines of making it easier for a teacher to communicate with anyone outside of the building or inside, depending on the device, where a emergency situation could take place within just a matter of minutes, is very beneficial to any school system throughout the state.
We're going to show you how this new alert system works and talk about the impact teachers believe it will have tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, some Tennessee lawmakers want to replace every single member of Tennessee State University's board. The ongoing debate in the legislature.
On Tuesday, police say here on April Lane and Nolensville Pike, a suspect's stolen car slammed into another woman's car. Now we're hearing from the victim. I'll have that in a few minutes.
And the forecast here turning rainy into the weekend and then back to winter next week. Drastic changes here happening within a 4-day time span we'll look at in your forecast.
Live look here at I-24 as you make your drive down Bell Road. This section of 24 is fine. There are others that are not. I'll take you there in a few.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. We kick off our 8 o'clock hour right now with continuing coverage as we have some state lawmakers demanding that every member of Tennessee State University's Board of Trustees be removed. This new development comes after there were accusations of mismanagement at TSU. And then, of course, TSU claiming that the state of Tennessee owes them about $2 billion.
Well, we're diving into this story, letting you know that Senator John Lundberg says as the bill stands right now, TSU's Board of Trustees and its members would be eliminated in June. So Senator Lundberg introducing an amendment that would instead, and I'm quoting here, vacate and replace the current members of the board. That proposal, what you need to know, that proposal was passed by the Senate Operations Committee. The bill will now head to the House Committee on Government Operations for debate. So to your point, Jen, a lot going on with this story and more updates to come.
Also new this morning, a victim is telling her side of the story after she gets caught in the middle of a police chase and ends up wrecked out on the side of a busy street.
Man, it's a wild story. And right now, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live where this all happened, breaking it down for us. Karen, how is she feeling?
Victim Joanna Palermo tells me that she is still in a lot of pain. She describes the experience as traumatizing. Police say it all started when they were chasing a suspect for stealing a Nissan, among other things, and that the suspect then was going down this road on Nolensville Pike on April Lane and then slammed into Palermo's car. Now you can still see that there are remnants of that wreck on the ground. Here is the front of her car, this Nissan, just to show you how strong that impact was. Now hear from Palermo describe the moments leading up to that crash.
I'm seeing this car come towards me. I knew she had to have been doing about 70 or over 60. This is how it looked in my left peripheral vision. I knew that she was coming too fast. And it didn't make sense that someone that was in their right mind or someone that had just made a left turn trying to beat traffic, it didn't seem of a speed of someone just making a simple left turn. It seemed like someone who had decided from far back that they were going to make this turn no matter what.
Palermo tells me that she not only was frightened, but now she is angry, and Hope said the suspect faces consequences. I'll have those consequences coming up in the next half hour, along with Palermo's frightening experience. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:03, and we're looking at the forecast here as today is one of the beginnings of a transitional period that we'll have going from 65 and sunny to 40 degrees and sunny next week. This is where it all starts. The wind picks up today. Clouds are already rolling in. This is the last dry day before the rain really does begin to take over the forecast starting tomorrow. Even in the morning hours, already rain will be coming down. I'll be tracking for you as you wake up right around this time tomorrow. No flooding, no severe weather with this event. It's going to be just rounds of light to moderate rainfall. There could be a clap or two of thunder on Saturday. But more than anything else, it's needed rain, but it will be annoying for your plants. That's how it's going to be here for the next couple of days. So here we are. Temperatures begin to slide by the end of the weekend. 65 degrees tomorrow. Today will be right around 62 degrees. So very nice day, just a little on the cloudier side. 64 on Saturday with some rain, a few showers to begin and end of the day on Sunday, and then this moves in. Yeah, a little wintry mix possible over the Cumberland Plateau Monday night into your Tuesday, and then we do turn cooler, much cooler. Average high temperature this time of the year is in the low 50s. We're going to be struggling to make it into the middle 40s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a look at what we've got going on. This is going to be I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We showed you the drive during the first half of the hour there, top of the hour a few minutes ago, where traffic was easing along just fine. That was a few miles from here near Bell Road. This part of it here is very congested. It's the merge spots. Anywhere where the on-ramp is coming together with the traffic already on the road, you're going to find some slow spots just like this. So heads up as you approach those exits and on-ramps. That's where you're going to find the slowdowns. Other than that, no major accidents this morning. We had a few early on, but they have all cleared.
Well, happening now, North Nashville's John Early Museum Magnet Middle School is celebrating Black History Month with a creative, student-driven project that we want to tell you about. Take a look here. Inside their school right here is a museum that's open to the public and curated completely by the students. Well, this month they are celebrating Black voices by highlighting all of the accomplishments of Metro Nashville Public Schools graduates. Listen.
This whole exhibit is all about celebrating MNPS students who have gone on and done wonderful things, not only locally, nationally, and internationally. And it shows these babies that you see standing around here that if they did it, I can do it too.
Now, that teacher you just heard from right there, she is fantastic. So thank you to Principal Riggs and that teacher and all the students for inviting me out there, checking out this exhibit. It is open to the public during the weekdays. You just got to go during school hours.
Interesting. Okay, good stuff. Hey, 8:06 right now. You know, it's not unusual for Metro Council to have disagreements. We're talking about Nashville. But it is unusual for city leaders to be shouting over each other and getting out of order. We'll tell you what has them so fired up in 2 minutes.
And you can also catch all the weather and traffic updates right there, scrolling on your screen, even during commercial breaks. Justin McFarland making sure you
show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
8:09 is the time. There's around 40 members of the Metro Council, and about half of them are new. Now, the Metro Council has term limits, so it's designed that way, so there is a lot of turnover. The vice mayor is also new. So what happens when former colleagues, people who served together as equal for years, are now in a position where one is the vice mayor and the other one is a council member, but they are still trying to exchange their ideas and points? Well, it can look a little something like this.
We very rarely have anything pulled from first reading from someone who is not the primary sponsor, who then seeks to do something with it other than the primary sponsor. I would ask that my colleagues have councilmanic courtesy and allow the lead sponsor of this bill to do with it as she'd like.
If we can't respect the councilmanic courtesy in all 35 districts, why are we rezoning 35 districts?
This bill is on first reading. This is a deferral off of first reading. This is in, I mean, I'm
I
not
get
going
it,
to
but
respond.
it's a
I'm gonna-
first reading
Is
that
there a
I've never
question?
discussed with my council district.
Do you have
and
a
that's not
question?
how I manage business in my
Mr.
council
Taylor,
district.
do you have a question, a specific question for Ms. Evans Siegel that she can respond to
So
as
my
to your
question
vote on the
is,
deferral?
I would like to discuss zoning bills prior to coming to this body with my district. That's how I manage my district. That's how I would like my colleagues to also help me manage my district.
Okay.
When they file bills that rezone my district.
Now, the bill that we're talking about involved zoning and housing. By the way, the total runtime for the council meeting that happened Tuesday night, about 5.5 hours.
A lot to unpack there for sure. Taking a look here, a lot to unpack in the weather forecast for you. 8:11 is your time, and this is when the rain moves in tonight into tomorrow. Gear up for it. You can't avoid it. Light rain showers tomorrow morning here, 7 a.m. Going into the afternoon, a few more showers in the afternoon hours as well. But these light grayish greens mean it will be light on and off rainfall. It's not going to be that steady, consistent rain. We're going to get that overnight, Friday night into Saturday. You're going to wake up Saturday to some wet pavement and some areas, especially south of I-40, working through some decent rain. The darker greens indicating heavier, more steady and more well-organized rainfall. Might even get a clap of thunder as this moves in. No severe weather, no flooding. We'll get a little break going into Sunday. Here's 11 a.m. Not necessarily completely dry, but a much drier day than what Saturday is going to bring for us here. And then going into Monday, one more push of rain and colder air on the backside. That is not your eyes deceiving you. There is some blue right here on Future Track. The possibility of some snowflakes flying in southern Kentucky and in the Cumberland Plateau going late Monday into Tuesday cannot be ruled out. Don't worry about anything sticking, and we're not cleaning out the grocery store shelves. Just a couple of flakes flying.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a quick look downtown Nashville. This is going to be I-24 at the Silman Evans Bridge. You can see how traffic is getting by out there, even though things are slow as you approach the split there. So heads up on that. No need to steer clear. No major accidents yet. We'll continue to watch the roads for you. Coming up next, a proposal to add exemptions to the state's abortion laws. They have failed to pass a House subcommittee. We're going to hear part of the heated debate that happened on Capitol Hill. Plus, next.
Good morning, 8:15 right now. Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. We continue to follow developing news out of West Nashville, where police say they are searching for the person who shot somebody in the leg during an argument. It all happened on Maudina Avenue around 2 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we're told the victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Our news crews were out there around 4 o'clock this morning getting those answers and interviews. A very odd situation. So right now we're still making calls, working to get some updates and try to figure out if they're looking for the person responsible. We'll continue updating this story throughout 9 a.m.
Also this morning, developing stories from our Capitol Hill regarding abortion in Tennessee, a bill that would make exceptions to our state's criminal abortion law for medical emergencies or rape failed to pass a House subcommittee.
Bill HB 1884 proposed abortions that were necessary due to medical emergencies, as well as abortions to end pregnancies caused by rape. It would not be considered a crime. The debate over the proposal did become very heated. Go ahead and take a listen.
I think we have to take into consideration that when rape takes place, the trauma, the impact of it, not only on an adult woman, but it happens to children also. And I would hope that we can see that the humane thing for us to do would be to not force those persons under those circumstances to carry that child.
And I can promise you, sir, that there are people, adults, children that are alive today, and thank God every day that their mother didn't go and have them removed from their body.
So far, none of the bills to add exemptions to our state's abortion law have made any significant progress in the legislature.
Right now, we're going to talk about a big moment for Nashville SC. It came yesterday, building out their squad for a homegrown player. The club announcing the signing of Isaiah Jones to a first-team contract.
He is just the second homegrown player signing in Nashville SC history. Just 17 years old, too. He's from Thompson Station. He's been with Nashville SC's Youth Academy since 2020 and climbed his way up the ranks as a midfielder. Last season, he played with the U17 squad and played in 7 matches, including 4 starts.
Well, congrats to him for sure. 8:17 is the time. We're going to see some showers. I know that's not what folks want to hear. Enjoy the sunshine right now, but how long will this continue, this trend?
This trend's going to start tomorrow. Today's kind of that build up to it where the clouds increase. We have the increase in wind, and then the rain tonight into tomorrow morning picks up, and then it'll be on and off through Monday into Tuesday. After that, we get much cooler. So the 60s will be a thing of the past after Sunday. And unfortunately, our last 3 days in the 60s will have that rain accompanied with it. So enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy the little specks of sunshine that we still have before the clouds completely take over. And rainy for 4 days. Not the entire time of each day, but there will be rain on the radar, all 4 of them, and all 4 of the night times as well. Taking a look at that cooler temperature profile, it's going to go from 60s to 40s. I'll show it to you in a minute, but first let's talk about wind. It'll pick up later this morning into the afternoon. Average wind speed around 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 30 miles per hour, and the wind will stay with us as the rain moves in tomorrow as well. 62 degrees this afternoon, 65 tomorrow. Like I mentioned, the 60s will stay with us. The cloud cover helps keep us warmer at night. Right now we're already in the 40s. Tomorrow morning we'll be in the 40s. 50 for your low temperature Friday night into Saturday. Our low temperature Friday night into Saturday morning is warmer than our high temperatures will be Tuesday through Friday of next week. Much cooler next week. Night times go back to the 30s, and those 40-degree temperatures go back below average. The average high on this date should be right around 51 degrees.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 at the Selman Evans Bridge. I was telling you about this particular part of the road there in downtown Nashville that is moving, but moving with some congestion. Heads up, by the way, they're going to start moving in the equipment necessary to build the brand new Nissan Stadium. This thing right here going down in a few years. So it'll be a dome rising up right next to it here starting on February the 29th. Now, let's take you to the south side. If you've got that doctor's appointment over at 100 Oaks, you're doing fine out there this morning. No problems coming in from Franklin and Brentwood on the south side. We'll continue to watch the roads for you.
A mid-state deputy hurt in a crash. The Dickson County Sheriff's Office is warning for drivers and livestock owners.
The debate continues over
an opportunity at 282 East Jefferson Pike in Murfreesboro. Bid live or online Saturday, February 10th at 10 a.m.
See us on the web at ComusMontgomery.com.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. A wild story out of Dickson County where a sheriff's deputy is on the med after his patrol car hit a cow. Look at the damage to the front of this SUV.
Yeah, it's still hard for me to imagine how the hood of this vehicle just came flying off at some point. You can see there the whole engine is exposed. The car obviously is totaled. The deputy went to the hospital. Thankfully, they are going to make a full recovery. So they're asking farmers out there in Dickson County, if you know you have livestock, please secure that fencing. Try to keep them off the interstates if you can.
You're looking at a couple thousand pounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Going into the front of that car at, we're not sure what speeds.
No, we're not.
They haven't released that information, but, you know, 2,500 pounds worth of cow.
Oh, it's heavy now.
Man, oh man. Glad the deputy's okay. All right, let's get you updated on a big story that we've been covering for quite some time now with new information in the battle to keep the Tennessee Valley Authority from putting a natural gas power plant and pipelines in Cheatham County.
Yeah, a lot of people did not want this. Well, the TVA and their proposal involves 286 acres of land very close to Ashland City. Now, those who live nearby are strongly against this particular idea. Cities like Pegram and Ashland City have passed resolutions against this plan.
TVA having another community meeting next week to help explain what they plan to do.
I want TVA to wake up to understanding what they have just dropped on this community, and the burden is on TVA to understand Cheatham County. It's not the burden on Cheatham County to prove this needs to go somewhere else.
This is really meant to be a an interactive session with the public, both with microphone Q&A and also time to interact with our subject matter experts who will be on site. We will not have the environmental impact statement draft out until later on this year. So this is really just an opportunity again to update people with what we have available now and hopefully answer their questions and of course deal with some of the rumors that we understand may be in the community as well.
Well, that meeting is going to be happening next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. It's going to happen at the Cheatham County Middle School gym.
8:25, looking at the forecast here, looking at your weekend. The temperatures are going to stay warm, but rain is going to move in. The rainier of the 2 days is going to be Saturday. Light to moderate rainfall if you get north of I-40. If you get south of I-40, moderate to maybe even at times heavy rainfall. Might grab a clap of thunder here on your Saturday. Sunday, 60 degrees, not nearly as rainy. There will be many dry hours on Sunday, relatively cloudy and breezy the whole time. What are the most likely hours for rain? This is your Saturday and your Sunday. You look at the timestamp down here, 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m. So early morning hours, and then it dies down a little bit through the afternoon, picks back up in the evening and first half of the overnight leading into Sunday, before Sunday does get a little bit drier. The big question is, though, when the rain is done, what do we do next? Well, the answer to that is we get cooler and we go back to winter-like temperatures. We'll take a look at that in your 7-day forecast. As soon as we get into the 8:30 half hour, that first check of your Code Red forecast, we'll put everything together for you.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to Bellevue this time. This is going to be I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard there in Bellevue. We've got teed out on the scene. We've also got an ambulance there on the scene as well in front of them. Hopefully everyone is okay. The ambulance, I'm sure, there to check out everybody after this crash. It's going to be slow around the corner there. You may want to consider Highway 70 as the best way to steer clear of that particular crash. Looking down from Williamson County, we're doing well. That's I-65 at Moore's Lane from Cool Springs. Smooth sailing there so far from Williamson County.
A suspect's stolen car slammed into another woman's car on Tuesday here on Nolensville Pike and April Lane during a police crash. Coming up, hear from the victim herself.
The mother of a
moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Unless I was with someone, I'd ride my bike, but I wouldn't walk on my own in this area.
Now on Fox 17 this Thursday morning, some Germantown folks worrying for their safety after a woman was attacked. What they say they're now doing, trying to just prepare for the worst, unfortunately.
Waking up this morning to increasing cloud cover and wind and rain chances going into the weekend. We're going to time out for you coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is over in the Bellevue area. Crash is really slowing things up. We'll give you your latest drive times coming up in a few.
All right, a lot to get to, but do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've got you covered for the next 30 minutes as your live local news source through 9 a.m. Operation Crime and Justice right now. Folks in Germantown, the neighborhood in Nashville, are on edge after police say a man attacked a 25-year-old woman who was just out on a run.
It's very scary. In the Metro Police Department, take a look at your screen. They are trying to track down this man. Police say he's wanted for attempted rape after they say he grabbed the woman, threw her into a fence, and then put her in a chokehold. Imagine all of that happening. Well, luckily, a Good Samaritan stepped in and was able to scare that man off. We spoke with one runner over on the Cumberland River Greenway who says, yes, he is making some changes moving forward.
I'm thinking about maybe running with my taser, running with pepper spray now, just because, Nashville's just different now.
You know, unfortunately, we've heard that same line so many times. Nashville is just different now. So police, as we speak, are still looking for the person responsible. The only clue that we have right now is that, according to police, he was seen walking from a homeless camp around 2nd Avenue North and Cement Plant Road. As we get updates from police, because I know a lot of folks are anxious to hear whether that man is off the streets, we'll be sure to let you know both on air and online.
And that does lead to our question that we're asking as a poll on our X account. Do you feel safe exercising in your neighborhood? And we know folks live all over Middle Tennessee, so right now 72.4% of you all say yes. Go ahead and sound off. Let us know what you think, not only on the X account, but also on our Fox Nashville Facebook page too.
Well, new this morning, a wild story from Nashville as a woman gets caught in the middle of a police chase. She gets wrecked out on the side of the road, blacks out, but is now here to tell the story.
Ooh, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar showing us where it happened and also how the victim is doing after this crash.
Victim Joanna Palermo tells me that she is in a lot of pain. She has a lot of bruises from that crash and burns on her hands. Police say it all started when they were chasing suspect Jillian Gibson for stealing a Nissan, among other things, and that she was actually going down this road on Nolensville Pike near April Lane when she slammed into Palermo's car right there behind me. Gibson's car then swerving over and heading into this ditch. Remnants of the car are still on the ground. In fact, you can see the front of that car there along with this Nissan sign from that stolen car. Now, Palermo describes the moments leading up to that crash.
By the time that I realized that this car was going to hit me, it was too late. The only thing that I could do was close my eyes, ball up, and pray to God. And I closed my eyes and I felt the impact, and then I blacked out.
Palermo tells me that once she regained consciousness, she was just thankful to be alive because she has a 3-year-old daughter at home that needs her. As for the suspect, she was taken into custody and has a $72,000 bond. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Wow, a 3-year-old daughter at home. Thankful she is alive this morning.
All righty, 8:34 right now, and Greg has been telling us that the day would come that we would shift away from the beautiful spring-like weather and shift more to a winter-like pattern, and that's going to bring us some rain.
That definitely will bring the rain, and then the cold temperatures come after that. So what's new as you're waking up this morning that you have to know about in the coming days? Well, right there on your screen, breezy today and then rainy after that. Wind picks up today, last dry day before the rain starts. Thankfully, though, we did put together a nice little stretch there of temperatures that were in the 50s and 60s, well above average, with not a whole lot of worry. Now we have to worry about rain that will move in that could mess with your plans. No flooding or severe weather is the best part of it, though. Average temperature this time of the year is 51 degrees. Highs this week have been in the 50s and 60s, and they will continue to be in the 50s and 60s. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, you'll see exactly what I mean, but there is a change in it that's going to come going into next week. 53 degrees by Monday, and then 40s Tuesday into Wednesday of next week.
Steer clear traffic. You can see the ambulance there pulling off the scene at I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard. You make that drive in from the Bellevue area. We've been watching the crash over there in the shoulder for a little bit here over the last few minutes, and we can tell you that the folks back behind here are going to be thankful to see this get out of here because it has been causing a bit of a slowdown. Let me show you what we're talking about. 31 minutes now in from Kingston Springs as you make that way in from the west side.
In politics, the mother of a young man killed in the Antioch Waffle House shooting back in 2018. Well, she is now looking for a seat at our state legislature.
Yes, she says that she wants to push for more gun control as a result of her son's death. This is Shondell Brooks. She's been advocating ever since losing her 23-year-old son, Aquila Da Silva. He died when Travis Ranking opened fire in the Antioch Waffle House, killing 3 others along with Da Silva. Now, Ms. Brooks says she feels like her son is with her as she is speaking out, and she says she wants to honor his legacy by running for a seat in the State House of Representatives.
Coming up this morning, we have a breaking news update talking about the deadly Marine helicopter crash, the very latest from military crews.
Fox 17 News, Code Red weather, alerts,
empowers,
protects.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm.
8:39 is the time, and if you're waking up with us here on Fox 17 News, I want to bring you up to speed on a breaking news story. All 5 Marines aboard a helicopter that went down in the mountains outside of San Diego, they are dead. Yeah, they say the helicopter disappeared late Tuesday night after leaving Creech Air Force Base. That is near Las Vegas. It was found Wednesday morning in the Snowy Mountains, and we now know efforts to go ahead and recover the remains of the 5 Marines, that is just getting started. The investigation into the crash, though, that's still underway. Also, want to let you know the names of the Marines, names and ages, that has not been released just yet. It's a story that we'll continue updating over on Fox17.com.
Closing in on 8:40 and taking a look at your forecast. The next weather maker is the rain that we have been projecting for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Well, now it's right around the corner. So let's take a look here on Future Track to the latest updates we've been seeing here throughout the morning. And starting tomorrow morning, that's been consistent all week long in terms of the time frame, and it stays that way. Here's 7 o'clock, light rainfall tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Tomorrow's rain lighter than what we're going to see on Saturday and into Sunday. 1 p.m., not raining for everyone every hour of the day, but there will be rain morning and afternoon that we're tracking on the radar for you. Taking a look, 7 p.m., overnight, going from Friday night into Saturday. That's when the greens get a little bit darker. A little heavier rainfall moves in, maybe even a rumble or two of some thunder on Saturday, especially south of I-40. No severe weather and also no flooding concerns for us. And then going into Sunday, that's the drier of the 2 days. By 11 a.m. on Sunday, mainly cloudy, but aside from a hit or miss little light rain shower, we'll stay dry for a couple hours in the afternoon. We got to talk about Monday into Tuesday, though. We have one more push of rain. This one could even bring in some snowflakes for some of us and a big cool down we'll get to in about 6 minutes.
Steer clear traffic at 841. Quick look here at that crash that we continue to follow on I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard coming in from Bellevue. As you can see, traffic is getting by, but things are slow until this accident gets out of the way. You want to take Highway 70 to steer clear. No need to steer clear of this. This is 24 at Baker Road in Murfreesboro. That drive is now under an hour into Nashville.
Nice and smooth. All right, 8:41 right now. Let's go to crisis in the classroom, where lawmakers have introduced a bill that would allow retired law enforcement and veterans to become school resource officers.
Now, the bill does aim to address the shortage of SROs in Tennessee schools. Last year, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee did sign a school safety law and invested $140 million for one full-time SRO at every single public school in the state of Tennessee.
A lot to this story, including a lot of background reports that we've done leading up to this. If you'd like to learn more, just head to Fox17.com and search SRO.
We do have continuing coverage now as an anti-LGBTQ ordinance in Murfreesboro is now no more.
Yeah, the city has apparently now settled a lawsuit involving the American Civil Liberties Union.
Now, the lawsuit stemmed from a policy that denied all special event permit requests from the group Tennessee Equality Project. Now, the group runs the city's Pride Festival. The original ordinance banned all sexual conduct and classified homosexuality as one of those banned type of things there. The amendment later removed that language. The ACLU says the city of Murfreesboro will pay $500,000 as a part of that settlement. You can read the full story, including the terms of that settlement, on our website at Fox17.com.
Nashville leaders are aware of a serious problem, but what are they going to do about it? Fox 17 News investigates with Amanda Chin as people are being drugged with roofies in Nashville bars.
And soak in what's left of
asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Good morning. It's 8:45 right now. Leaders in Nashville acknowledge there is a roofie problem here. Folks, unfortunately, go out to a bar or a restaurant. You are hanging out, having drinks, and then somebody slips something into your drink.
Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin sharing how the city is addressing this big issue.
A little less than half of reported sexual assaults last year in Nashville may have involved alcohol. That comes from the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville. It's happened to Nate Faulkner, who's been in the bar industry for 15 years.
I've been roofied twice. I don't know if it was technically meant for me, but I bought a round of shots for some people, and we had to leave the bar because the Uber was there, and so the girl next to me didn't take her shot. And I'm a career bartender. I don't leave liquor on the bar, and I took the shot, and next thing you know, I woke up 12 hours later and didn't remember anything. Lots of change, but
He's seen it happen to his friends and even those just enjoying a night out.
it is definitely a huge issue that needs to be addressed and needs to be really looked at hard so that we can all take note and be safe.
Faulkner is the general manager of Teddy's Tavern, which is one of only 2 bars in the Broadway area, a part of the Safe Bar program right now. The Safe Bar program is a bystander intervention program that partners with establishments across the city to help train staff on how to intervene if someone is being sexually assaulted.
There's code words that if a customer feels unsafe, they can come up to the bar and order an angel shot. And our staff is trained to immediately know that this person doesn't feel safe, something is happening, so they can pull them aside and we can correct that situation.
The Sexual Assault Center provides bars with resources to use as well. Now, every bar here at Teddy's Tavern has one of these test strips. It's really easy. All you have to do is put a few drops of your drink right here and right here. And you wait a little to see if it's blue, that means you may have that drug in your drink. If it's white, you're all clear. It's as easy as that. But why aren't more bars a part of the Safe Bar program? I reached out to Steve Smith, the owner of Tootsie's, Kid Rock's, and Honky Tonk Central, just to name a few. I wanted to know why his bars aren't safe bars. I am waiting for a response. I also contacted the owners of Jason Aldean's FGL House, Luke's 32 Bridge, and Miranda Lambert's Casa Rosa. A spokesperson tells me they were recently introduced to the Safe Bar program and are scheduled to meet with them to begin the process. A spokesperson for Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row tells me they went through a Safe Action certified program before the Safe Bar program launched. Councilmember Jacob Coupin represents the Broadway area.
Since I've been in that conversation, there's a lot of interest from the bar groups. I've talked to the Broadway Entertainment Association. I've talked to, I know everyone knows about Steve Smith. I've talked to his organization and encouraged them to look at these upcoming trainings, get their bars trained.
Coupin says that even if a couple of hours of training will stop one person from being roofied, it's absolutely worth it, and doesn't see a reason why a place wouldn't want to do that. But what's Coupin's message to those who may be apprehensive about going downtown?
Overall, we are a very safe city. New Year's Eve weekend, we had over 250,000 people come through downtown Nashville. There were certain incidents that, of course, any incident is not good, but relatively to the amount of people moving through, we have a safe city.
While Nashville General Hospital and Vanderbilt University Medical Center offer roofie tests, it's at the provider's discretion, and in most cases, the assault needs to be reported to police first. Some in the community believe those protocols need to change.
Amanda, sounds like a lot of red tape in some cases.
Yeah, for sure. And I mentioned those hospitals. Sometimes it can be challenging for these people to actually get a test to see if they've been roofied. So the Sexual Assault Center also has a safe clinic open 24/7. It's another option. They provide transportation as well. Okay. So it's another option for people if they can't get a test at a hospital. But remember, there has to be a certain time span that you have to get that test. Otherwise, the drug can easily go out of your system. And that's why sometimes these people take advantage of this type of drug. And of course, we're going to continue to follow up on this. And, we mentioned there's a Bon Jovi bar coming. There's always new bars coming. Luke Combs is opening a bar, Eric Church. So we'll continue to follow up and kind of see, hey, are you guys participating in this program? And if not, why?
Okay. All right, Amanda Chen, thank you so much for sharing those resources. It's all available. All this information is available, fox17.com.
Yes.
At 8:50 here, taking a look at your forecast, getting you into the weekend, and then we'll take you out of that in the 7-day in about 10 seconds from right now. Just know on and off rain showers for your Friday, your Saturday, and Sunday. The rainiest day of those three is going to be on Saturday, maybe even a clap of thunder. No severe weather, no flooding, no major concerns. Just know you have to have the rain gear, the umbrella, and know that there will be waves of rain that do move in. Today's big story, cloud cover increasing and wind increasing. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. And then next week, everything turns back to a colder pattern, much cooler. We'll be at 45 degrees on Tuesday, 48 on Wednesday. And coming up in the last check of your forecast, we're going to see how long that cool spell could be. That's coming your way in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-40 at Church Street. This is over on the West Loop. We've got a disabled vehicle there in the zebra stripe, so heads up as you make your way out and about there. Should be no problem getting by, just something to be aware of. Looks like some tire pieces are up there in that particular part of the road as well. Other than that, we're wide open, moving freely. We had that crash in Bellevue earlier this morning. It is now clear.
Also talking about this important traffic update coming out of the Gulch. We have an update on the street collapse over on Division Street. That story after the break. Stay with us.
Clouds over Music City for us right now. We will have one last check at
the winner. Get the question right and you can score the daily prize of a $100 prepaid debit card and be in a drawing for the $5,000 weekly winner. For complete contest rules, go to fox17.com.
Let's get right to a traffic update for you this Thursday morning. Want to let you know both lanes of Division Street over in the Gulch are back open after last week's collapse.
Yes, so that's new just in a few minutes ago. We're getting word from the Nashville Department of Transportation that just made the announcement over on their Twitter page. As Erica mentioned, part of the road collapsed last week because of ongoing construction. One lane was closed. Metro Code says a stop work order got issued up until this point. So again, it looks like both lanes are now back open on Division Street there through the Gulch. We'll let you know if we get any more updates throughout the day over at fox17.com.
We're also continuing to follow developing news out of West Nashville. That is where police say yes, they are searching for the person who shot someone else in the leg during an argument. Okay, we brought you as breaking news this story around 4 o'clock. It happened over on Maudina Avenue around 2 a.m. We're also told the victim was taken to the hospital, is expected to be okay. You can follow the updates on fox17.com. We'll also have some more updates this evening on our newscast.
Operation Crime and Justice Metro Police have arrested a man who they say is connected to 2 carjackings in recent months.
Here's a look at the gun they say Malanto Hemison used to steal a car on Sunday. Officers say they arrested him yesterday over in South Nashville after a brief chase. Metro Police say he has a history of car thefts and weapons arrests. He is currently being held, though, on an $88,000 bond.
Taking a look here. There we go. Yep, this is the beginning of the end of our sunny streak. You see the clouds already moving in over Music City, and now we're going to bring in some wind and some rain to carry us into the upcoming weekend. So one more look at that 7-day forecast. You can see the beginning of the cool spell on the right side of your screen. 62 degrees today, dry but windy at times. And then tomorrow, rain moving in during the morning hours. So as you're waking up with us tomorrow, I'll be looking at the radar, tracking what is out there and where it's going to help you get started on your Friday, and then taking a look at Saturday and Sunday. Both days are going to have rain. Saturday is the rainier day, so more hours worth of rainfall on Saturday than on Sunday, and that's the day we might even get a rumble of thunder in our southernmost counties. No severe weather, no flooding risks, but the right side, that's where we go back to reality. The normal high temperature this time of the year should be 51 degrees. We don't get close to that. Tuesday, 45. If we're lucky, upper 40s on Wednesday, and that trend will continue.
For this exclusive offer, and believe me, these are going to go very, very quickly.
Parvo is probably one of my least favorite topics because, generally speaking, this devastating, potentially fatal disease is completely preventable with